Hello, everyone, and it's time to explain. It has been more than a year since the last episode, so we are here to answer all your burning questions about buffies, their prices, the RNG, everything. Like, we are not escaping from any burning question. And here we have like a set of new people from the team, but also like some familiar faces. So let's start with Quinn.
Hello, I'm Quinn.
Hi, Quinn.
And
I'm a feature designer. So the Brawl team is split into two main groups. There's the gameplay team and the feature team. What does the gameplay team do?
The gameplay team basically takes care of everything that happens after you press play.
Oh, that's a good answer. I never heard that before.
definition.
Yeah. The feature designer the feature team and the feature designer, we handle a lot of supporting systems. So a lot of our recent work has been the Brawl Pass. We worked on mega quests, and we did a lot of the work for Stranger Things in collaboration with gameplay.
And what is your favorite brawler, Quinn?
Yeah, that's a good one. I do try to play a range of brawlers because I do want to know them all pretty well. But lately, I've been playing a lot of the Buffied brawlers, and I've been really enjoying Colt specifically. It feels really good right now.
Buffy Cold. It's a good one.
Yep.
And also we have familiar face, Adrian.
Yes.
You guys know he's not
Yes.
black and white.
No.
The
no.
social media suggests.
No.
But yeah, Adrian, what do you do in the
Yeah.
team?
So, you know me, of course. I nerf your favorite brawlers, first and foremost. But no, I'm the gameplay lead. What that means, I kind of touched on it. But basically, anything that happens after you press play is something that I'm held accountable for. So that means, brawler design, game mode design, Buffy design, whatever that is. And of course, these ideas come from the entire team. And I'm just here to kind of distill the great ideas from the team and put it out to you guys so you guys get to enjoy it.
And your favorite brawler
Oh,
at the moment?
At the moment, I was just going
Yeah.
to say, at the moment, I think it's probably Kaze, just because of the skill ceiling that Kaze has. You can do nearly whatever on any map as long as you're good enough on Kaze, which I am not, but
Still
you
there,
can,
still
in
go-
theory.
Still learning.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we have Gon, UX designer in the team. So
Yeah.
can you expand what does this role do? And
Sure. The thing is, UI UX designer is kind of like obscure in terms of what UI is, what UX is. So UI comes from user interface and UX is from user experience. So I work closely with Quinn in the feature dev team, but also helping gameplay sometimes. In a way, I manage the look and the feel of when you are interacting with the game. No, as a recent example in Brawl Pass, when we came out with this bolt idea, like when you enter the Brawl Pass for the first time, you see this big bolt, and then how you navigate through the bolt, how you actually get to claim the keys. All of that is what I do. And yeah, just to address the elephant in the room, yes, I'm the one to blame for the disappearance of the socks in that Brawl Pass UI. But
It's a top issue.
rest assured, the socks are definitely coming in the next update.
whoa, let's go. Wait. And besides the sock of the Brawl Pass, what is your favorite brawler?
Can I cheat and say two?
Yeah.
Because, I've been playing Brawl for more than 5 years now that I've been in the team. So I have like my long-time brother, like what would be Bo. Like, yeah, I was just saying to Adrian, is like, I was asking him to please, can we get Bo's Hypercharge, please? Can we get it? And it took ages and updates to actually get it. So now I'm hoping for the buffed version of Bo to arrive kind of earlier than that. And then more recent brawlers, I'm really, really enjoying Pierce.
Pierce?
Yeah, it's so satisfying,
Okay.
when you actually manage to make a hit and then you take one of these bubbles and then you actually can do another hit. That's great.
Yeah, that's a really cool, fresh take on snipers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then let's start with the questions. So I split them into social media so like I don't forget anyone and everyone feels heard. And I'm like the criteria is pretty much upvotes or things that are like I know this a trend topic or anything, but there is like some random stuff. So like there is things that like maybe people didn't upvote, but I thought it would be interesting as well. But like Reddit and Twitter is most of the burning stuff economy related. So the first part of this podcast will be very heavy on the economy side of things. But all right, some things that need to be addressed. This is a question from the Nix on Reddit is also super weird. Apprehensive Age 312. How do you guys plan to fix buffies? From their costs to how broken they are, to even why are RNG and how skill-less most of them are. M, Spike, Mortis, Frank. It has like 5 questions in one, so like maybe we go with this one first, like so an overall plan on how to fix it.
Absolutely. And this is like the top question that people have, and we want to spend our time on this topic. And actually this question captures concerns really well. It like boils them down in a really short amount of time. And that's great. That's really helpful for us. So yeah, okay. So let's start with buffies, some context. So, there's a lot of elephants in this room. You already addressed one elephant, but there's another elephant, which is the cost, right? And also the sentiment. So sentiment has been fairly negative. That's actually not terribly surprising. Like whenever we release a new layer of progression, we do expect that the initial reception is going to be negative. And that's like completely understandable. Like we just added a big cost to Brawl Stars. But cost doesn't exist in a bubble. Like it has context. And we want to give you a lot of that context. That might actually change how you feel. Also, we want to talk about like what our plans are moving forward. So yeah, okay, about that cost. So it's 2,000 power points and 1,000 coins per buffy. And there are 18 buffies in a release. So every 2 months. So yeah, that's a lot of coins and power points. So there's another side to this. There's sentiment, right? Of course, how people are feeling. And then there's how the game is doing. And that's like another really big input for us. And I think we want to maybe ground the discussion and show some actual numbers.
Yeah.
So let's start with that.
So tell me the graph you need.
Why don't we go to the first one? Yeah, okay. So this is super interesting. So this graph here is showing playtime. And you can see that basically since buffies have been released, playtime is way up. And like that's maybe a little bit counterintuitive, actually. And why don't we look at another graph, the next one? So this is retention. What is retention? Anyone want to offer?
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you want to
what is? Okay, I'll explain it. Yeah. If you played yesterday and then you play today, you've been retained. Now we have many players, and so this is a percentage. We want to track how many people are logging in, kind of daily. We want that number to be as high as possible. And you can see that our retention is growing. This is D1 retention.
Yes.
We didn't want to overload you with graphs. I love graphs, but not everyone shares my passion. But pretty much retention across the board is growing, which is really exciting. And that's what we were hoping for. So yeah, we love to see it. Maybe we can go to another one.
Yeah.
So this is churn. This is another one of those game development terms. So what this means is people leaving the game. So every game has people leave. Every game also has people come in for the first time. They might be new players. They might be re-engaging. And so we're kind of tracking like, okay, what's the net impact of this, right? And so what this one is just looking at churn. How many people are leaving? And you can see that churn is actually trending down. So, and like, if you look at pretty much any metric right now, it's really green. And that gives us a lot of confidence that directionally, buffies is good, actually. Now, that being said, there's a lot of areas that we still want to improve on, and we're going to be deep diving into that. But yeah, we wanted to give you this context because it's like super critical to understand like how the game is doing and where it's going.
Yeah, and then for their cost to how broken they are, I think like there's lots of questions that we can actually break down the thing. So maybe we skip for the next for his next question.
Yeah.
But I guess like to summarize is like I think we even had a meeting the other day to discuss the sentiment, and we said like the right thing we did is that buffies are desirable. It's like people are complaining about the cost because they want to get them, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem we had throughout this whole year. There was no like a really good chase item. Like there's no reason for you to log into the game and like chase something. So I think that part has been pretty much like solved. And now we have to address the other part, which is like the cost, the ways to get it, and then we go down into that later.
Just can I really quickly add? Just I think that's really important what you said about that you want them, because I think that's one of the big learnings we took, for example, when we did Gears. Is that was one of the things, like they weren't like visceral enough, they weren't desirable enough, and then the whole thing kind of lands poorly. Even though, they're balanced in a vacuum and, it's fine. They're not that expensive, but they're also not that cool, right? And we didn't want the same thing to happen with buffies. Like, we want them to be desirable. But of course, it needs to feel achievable as well. And that's something we're going to touch on more later.
Absolutely. So a little bit more about the cost before we move on.
Yeah.
So that number that we chose was not kind of like a casual number. We actually had a bunch of discussions about it. We actually did some modeling. And the reason that number is so important is because we're going to be making Buffies for the next like 3 years. Buffies kind of represent our rework of an entire brawler. And doing that right takes time. And so that's why it's going to be 3 years. And maybe even 4, depending on the pace, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we were setting the price, we had to think long-term. We can't just think short-term. And so long-term, like what we want to do in Brawl Stars is we want to add cool new features. We want to run cool new events, right? And we need an engine for that. And a big part of that engine is coins and power points, right? Those have to mean something. Like of course, we could have no Buffies and give you lots of coins and power points, but they would become meaningless, right? Because you just have everything, right? Mm-hmm. So we basically have created this thing, Buffies, that people want, and then we're going to use our cool, exciting new events and features to make the game feel more alive than ever over the next years. And that's the very high-level answer to the cost. There are many other kinds of angles at this, but that's basically the reason.
Nice. I wanted to also reflect a little bit from the visual design or artistic point of view in terms of the cost of Buffies. So before we had all the items like gadgets, stop hours, gears that Adrian mentioned, even hypercharges, they are just a UI icon and sometimes a cool in-game VFX. Mm-hmm. So we are a live game, and part of our responsibility or our duty is to surprise players. So we couldn't just do the same thing again.
A new button, yeah.
Yeah, and the same as Adrian was saying, like we had to assure that they would be desirable, no? So yeah, when I look at what the art team has done, creating like these almost like mini characters for each brawler, there's like a lot of creative capital for us. No, it's like eventually we are like doubling our roster of characters in a way.
Yeah.
You know? So like only because of that, I do feel like they are bringing something more than what other items were bringing, and I think we are just starting to see the potential of that in terms of like when artists are creating the Buffies, like they are also imagining what's the relationship between the brawler and the Buffy, not in a mechanical way, more like in a story way, in lore way. So I'm sure that's going to be a goldmine for us to create stories, videos, even events. No, like when I was reflecting on this question earlier today, I imagined like, wow, like last year, one of the most exciting moments for Brawl Stars was when in May we did the Battle for Katana Kingdom event. Yeah. And that event, thematically wise, was built around our lore and the Brawlers lore, like Kenji and Kase. So I can easily imagine like an event like exploiting like the potential of the Buffies, no? Yeah. Like what happens when Buffies becomes evil in the start part, or what happens when
spoiler.
Yeah, I mean all of this could happen or not. Yeah, or like what happens when Brawlers and Buffies interchange their roles, and then I don't know. Ooh. I think they have such a lot of potential. So in a way, I think that's also justifying like why we are investing more on each of one of them. Yeah.
Cool. Then the next question is unrelated, but to Buffies, but he's asking about what are you guys' plan on to Mega Pig? It clearly is a worse version in every single way of the old Club League. Do you guys plan to come back with the old system with some changes, like more variety to the shop, like the Toy Story or SpongeBob collab, which by the way, it was Gone that actually designed those as well, right? The shops.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone want to take this one?
Maybe Adrian?
Yeah, sure. I think let's start with Megapig. I think versus Club League, when you think about Megapig, I think what we did manage to do is we managed to make a system that more players engage with, which was the main kind of purpose for us, because Club League, while for those people that used it, that was very few in comparison to the amount we actually wanted to use it. And we also locked a lot of progression behind Club League. So basically we made a niche system with a lot of progression. And that was the wrong way to go about it. So Megapig was our first kind of step in what would this look like in a more casual format, where everyone can kind of get the spoils of the system, not only the ones that are hyper engaged. So I think that we managed to succeed in. Of course, we have ran a lot of mega pigs to date, right?
Yeah.
And of course, the novelty factor wears off as we go. So we're discussing all the time, essentially, like, what is the next evolution for clubs? Like, what is the way we can either make people engage, have something interesting to do in a club, or then don't? Should we focus on something else that doesn't involve clubs? Should we take out the rewards from there, put them somewhere else? We haven't decided on direction there, but we're basically agreeing with Megapig is not as novel as it should be right now. And we want to make sure that the rewards that we intend for clubs are enjoyed by as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I think like these things cannot be taken in isolation as well, because like, if you compare Mega Pig rewards to Club League rewards, of course it's worse.
Yeah.
But when we changed the system, we actually spread the rewards from Club League to Star Drops. It was actually when we did the transition. So like we actually inflated the whole economy for the casuals.
Yep.
And then it wasn't even a nerf for the hardcore.
Actually on that. Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I just was reflecting on something that is maybe not helping at the moment, the Mega Pig, which is like when we released it, it was a very unique like gacha experience in terms of the experience to actually open a pig.
Yeah.
Back then, I think we only had the mega boxes and just released startups or something like that. But after all what we have done recently, like we have sushi, we have chaos drops, all the different boxes. In a way now, just the pig is not so unique anymore.
No.
But
Yeah.
yes.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Our goal in Brawl Stars is to grow the game. And whenever we make a decision, it's with that in mind. And one of the things that we found that helps grow the game the best is when we democratize resources. So basically, when we make resources available to the vast majority of players, if they engage with the game. And so like a lot of the steps that we do, it's towards that because we basically see results. And so I think with Club League, that to Star Drops, you can really clearly see the impact of that.
Yeah, and it was the beginning of our growth. Good times. Related to like democratizing rewards, but sometimes we don't get it right, is records. So like he said, like they clearly hurt the game way more than helped. And even if part of the progression from Mastery were never planned to be substituted by records, they are just way too lackluster by how they are right now. So like about records that didn't hit the mark, both for the players and for us, to be honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this might be a little bit surprising to some of you, but we're also not happy with records.
Well, I think we made a post about it. But
So it's an interesting situation. So yeah, that update missed. We also missed on the Toy Story update, and that also happened this year. So we don't always get it right for sure, and we try to be very like honest and humble about that. With the Masteries to Records situation, like I think what happened is we basically went from a not very performant system, which is Masteries, a very popular for sure, but not very performant, to an even less popular, even less performant system. And like maybe we can talk about the learnings from that.
Sure. Do you want to show the graph as well?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah, I love graphs.
We do love graphs.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, another thing, we skipped some really hard questions, and we're going to come back to them. But yeah. So the question we need to come back to is why is the claw machine RNG? But first, one hard question at a time. So let's go. Okay. So yeah, here's Masteries. So this is our daily active users. DAU is the shorthand, and so. Some context about Masteries. Now, I wasn't on the team at the time, but I do have the context, and Adrian can always jump in. So at the time, the game was on a decline, and we were hoping that the Masteries would help to kind of recover playtime and recover daily active users, kind of make the game more exciting to grind again. That did not happen, like very much did not happen. It had basically no impact that we could measure. And it's basically because it's a feature that only impacts, like on purpose, the very top percentage of players, and they're already like enjoying the game. They're not going anywhere. When you grow, it's because you want to grow in kind of like the middle. You want to make sure that the game is like fun for everybody. And Masteries didn't really hit the mark there. So that was a learning for us. And then let's show records. Yeah, so we released records. Also didn't hit. So this is playtime. So one thing that we hope for with these kinds of features is that it increases playtime. It's like, there's this cool new record, go grind it, go achieve it. But yeah, also did not work. You can see that, yeah, like there's basically decline. So that being said, like I think there have been some questions about like, well, just go back to Masteries. Well, Masteries was not a very good system either. I think we're still in the reflection period about like how we move forward best in this area.
Yep.
And whatever we do would be something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
I mean, that's perfect. No notes. Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think fundamentally it goes back to even similarly to Megapig, like we have a system that basically is beloved by the vocal community, but doesn't really do anything for the wider audience. And we are locking, again, a lot of rewards behind it. So it's like, it's the worst kind of a lot of worlds. And of course, as Quinn said, the Records wasn't the better of these worlds either. But we do believe that there is a better of both worlds. And that's what we're essentially trying to figure out.
Yeah.
There was one thing though that...
No, just remembering like that time when we released Masteries, we also released close to it catalog.
Yeah.
So those were two features that were highly praised by the community.
Yes.
And then we were in a way surprised that praising or that positive feedback didn't then affect the metrics.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have to release Bling, which was also praised and also didn't move numbers.
Yeah.
But I was going to say something about Records. We wanted to buff the trophy road. And that was like, where can you get more resources? Because of course we don't want to double the resources from like one day to another, right? And it needs to be reasonable. And Mastery had a lot of resources that most of the people are not getting.
Exactly.
Like it was pretty much the same like concept of like why did we kill Club League and then had Megapig? It's and actually Star Drops in that case. It's just to democratize these rewards, and then more people have access to that. Which actually Trophy Road had a good bump in early retention, right?
That's right. Yeah. So Trophy Road, like we are happy with the work there. Like we think like the UX is much better. We think the new player experience is much better. Also, it's really cool to see like Star Park come to life piece by piece. And then we also saw that reflected in our goals. But yeah, the update in general was a miss. We had this Masteries community event, and we hoped that would take a lot of the sting away when we did the transition, and it turned out that it didn't. Big learning.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good point, because like I think like every time we do a community event, what we do, like we add more resources, and what we want as a payoff is like more players coming. Like that, this event is so exciting that we'll tell our player to coming back to the game. And this has been true to every other event we have done. Like there are some events that didn't work so much, like the Valentine's, and I think that was the only one that didn't perform so much. But the Masteries, it was like the one that we gave the most resources ever. And it was the one that least brought people back.
Yeah. I think we were still declining like during the community event. Yeah. And it turns out that most players don't benefit from mastery points, even if we give you way more, just because like a lot of their brawlers are low trophies and you just can't get that many points.
But I think it also shows like that, like because one of the hypotheses could be like, why didn't we improve the mastery system? Like with this event, we improve it by 10 times, maybe 11.
Yeah.
And it didn't move any meaningful number, right? You can see like it was, I think it was a mistake in a sense that like it didn't perform. Like we just put the resources, didn't get anything back. But I think it was an honorable way to say goodbye to the feature either way. So I think it wasn't...
Not even a buffed version of Masteries helped them to stay alive.
I think that's a good sign, right? At that point, the system just doesn't work, unfortunately.
And I think it also like underscores how difficult it is to get this stuff right. Because there's so many inputs, there's so much data that we get, and it's all pointing in different directions, right? So which one is the true path, right? We often we are trying to figure that out. So.
Yeah, for sure.
However, there was one thing that actually it did hurt us, is that content creators like influencers or like pro players or people who could create content, they were using Masteries as a source of like novelty, right? So every time there's a brawler, there is a new source of content that you can do, and that we actually like didn't take into account, and it just chopped because Records didn't replace that.
Yeah, we really watered down the meaning of a brawler title, and we think that is like a big loss. And we want to bring that back, and I think we hopefully will very soon.
Who knows?
Slight sneak peek.
I pressed the wrong button. No.
Oh, should I say something? Oh,
no,
okay. Well, okay, we could show the thing.
We could do it in between, sure.
The last slide.
The last slide. Yeah. Okay. It's a little sneak peek as to what's
Bam.
coming next update. And I don't think we're going to say anything about it.
I don't think so.
Yeah. there
Looks
it is.
cool though.
Yeah.
Gons, did you make
yeah.
this?
I helped this half. One of our other UI UX is the main one working on it. Is David. I was the one in a way proposing the direction for this, and then I just wanted to kudos True Gamer 007, our once pin fan artist and now official pin artist who has been working for us for years now, Shira. He was the one who created these like neon pins that became very popular in the community like years ago, and we have talked over the years many times like no worries, Chirac, like they are gonna get into the game because they are so cool. It's just like I need to find like the right time, no, or a system that can allocate them, and looks like we have it now.
Yes. So hopefully the creator the content creator part of the that we cut and we didn't have it didn't break it back. Maybe this will bring the excitement back.
Yeah.
It's funny how we're still on the first question, but I think
We keep going.
it's
a good
like
question.
a general one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And lastly, when we could see more mid-season balance changes for broken brawlers. It feels right now you guys just wait until every other update to release balance changes, while we could have been getting more frequently,
Changes.
and then there's a plus that I guess is related. Do you guys plan to rework entirely polarizing brawlers like Clancy and Mr. P when they receive their buffies?
I'll take this one. Okay, so I think there's a few parts in the first one. So can we see more mid-season balance changes for Broken Brawler? So I think one of the issues we've had in the previous years even is that there's no set cadence for balance changes. And that's something we want to rectify. So we want to make it very clear for the community, when can you expect balance changes? The next step of that is even sharing some of that work in progress work even before we do it, to get even earlier feedback. This already happens, by the way, with a select group of people. So that includes pro players and creators and whatnot, and of course the team itself. We discuss all of this way in advance, but even exposing some of that to community, I think, can help. So the long story short is, yes, hopefully we can make a set schedule so you can always expect when to receive balance changes. And the second part of that is we also need to improve our internal systems to make it easier for us to make balance changes. Because right now, to make balance changes, we have to have a maintenance.
Yeah.
And needless to say, maintenance is bad, right? Because you cannot play the game when we have a maintenance.
Yeah.
So we want to try to reduce the amount of maintenance we have, but of course we still want to make the balance changes as soon as we can. So it's a bit of a push and pull, but regardless, it should be much more transparent in the future when balance changes are coming and what they will be, and also on a more set cadence.
Yeah, and I think interesting to that, because like I don't know if you have noticed, but some bugs are fixed magically without maintenance, and that's because like there is a new tech that like it fixed the bugs per server battle site, which means that it's not the same. It's not for everyone at the same time, right? Like it takes time. But if we do that with balance, it will be hell, right? Because your brawler will be stronger depending on what server it is. But yes, like we want to explore some tech on how to make it.
And I guess a small caveat to this still from my side is when we see something that is completely off, we try to react straight away, no matter when it is in the cadence, right? So if we have something that's completely busted or something that's breaking the game, we will try to address that ASAP. We're not going to adhere to that schedule.
When should we talk about the Buffy balance?
Maybe later on, because I think there is a question about that. Or is it there? Anyway.
Yeah, the Twitter crew as the for
okay,
we can do that later. And then do you plan to rework Brawlers and Brawlers or Clancy and Mr. P? Not necessarily the specific ones, maybe Clancy and Mr. P, but the idea with Buffy specifically is actually to give ourselves the time to go back to a lot of these brawlers, look at parts of their gameplay and figure out what do we feel still makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and how can we improve the experience while not sacrificing the fantasy of the brawler. That's what we feel is really important with the brawlers. It's like, on Crow, you poison people and you throw daggers and you're an assassin. Whatever we do, it's not going to change that. But can we make it feel more visceral? Can we make it feel more modern? So it doesn't feel like, oh, well, this is Brawl from 5 years ago or something. Like, oh, this feels fresh. I'm familiar with this, but this feels new and cool to me. That's what we want to go for. So
absolutely. And something that we always have to consider is that like, we'd love to go back and polish like a lot of things. Yeah. But in order to keep Brawl growing, like that's always our mission, we need to have eventfulness, right? And I think one of the great things about Buffies is that they allow us to do both. And that's super rare.
you know what? I was checking for when it comes to like the RNG and cost question. Maybe we just bring it back. Like, let's
Sure.
talk about the RNG. Why is it RNG? Why it costs so much? Let's.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the claw machine, we should clarify how it works because it's a new feature. So every claw machine is going to have 18 buffies in it for 6 brawlers. So 3 buffies per brawler, right? So when we ship a new update, it'll be a separate claw machine. I've seen a little bit of confusion about this. So it won't be like this infinitely growing pool. You'll actually have choice over kind of which group of brawlers you want to pull buffies from. So in terms of why it's RNG, it's also like probably the second most controversial part of the update. And it's something that we also like have conversations about on the team all the time, right? It's a super important topic for us. So just generally speaking, like why do we have random rewards? Well, if there's any game team on the earth that can speak precisely about this, it's this team. And it's because we removed all random rewards. And I think it was December 2022.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And, at the time, we had hoped that this would be really good for the game, right? And that was like our most praised update. There was a wave of users that came back. There was really good news coverage. It was all looking super strong until our retention started dropping. And it kept dropping. And it kept dropping. And if we had not reversed that decision, Brawl Stars might not even be around anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I guess the question is like, why? Like, why did this happen? Why was retention dropping with no random rewards? Do you have any like thoughts on this?
I think we've obviously looked into this a lot. And I think fundamentally when there is nothing surprising about the game, when you cannot open the game and feel surprised or feel excited, that kind of defeats a lot of the purpose and a lot of the chase, right? Like the reality is, like, if we have, let's say, a quest that awards either 50 power points or a star drop, right? Most of the time, even though let's say the value is the same, I don't think it's exactly the same, but more or less, then most of the time that star drop will feel more exciting because you remember, of course, the times where it's like, oh, I could get a brawler from this or something else cool. And that's just the reality of the situation. Along with that, though, I think I want to point out that when we brought boxes back, basically, we did also keep the star road basically intact and the kind of rewards that you can anticipate, because I think that's an important part of it. I think the actual ideal is close to where we are right now, where you have the exciting randomness factor, but you also know that, oh, I'm going to get this brawler in maximum this long, or I can reach a buffy in this long, or whatever you're chasing essentially. So I think that's probably the balance we want to strike.
We believe in a mix for sure.
Yeah. And just something that to mention that we have been talking recently is like now that we have many different ways of RNG, like different containers, like different gachas. We need to start getting better in terms of to make them feel different, not only in the UX of it, but in the actual rewards that are contained in it. And once we get that sorted, it's gonna feel even better when you actually open one of those that you haven't opened in a while, because like, oh, this is where I can get this thing that I cannot get in the others.
But tell us, Quinn, why RNG is better?
So why don't we talk about it specifically with the claw machine, because that's what the question is about. So there are lots of reasons, like it's a very complex topic, but I think one that's often not talked about very much is that RNG gets you out of your comfort zone. So I want to give you an example. So let's say I like playing Colt, right? And I want to get all of Colt's buffies. It's very unlikely that I'm just going to get them all right away. I'm going to have to pull from the claw machine many times. And by chance, I'm going to say get all 3 buffies for Spike. And let's say I don't really play Spike normally. Like he's level 7 and I played against him a lot and he's clearly good. But I just never invested in him before. But now that I have all 3 buffies, I figure, well, it's actually not that much more if I just get into power 11. So I do, and I start playing him, and actually he's like really fun, and he's allowing me to like counter brawlers that I've struggled with in the past. And so what ended up happening is that I have a new tool in my tool belt that will help me draft better. It'll help me win more games, and it's kind of indirectly because of the claw machine. So that's a perspective. But that being said, like we do want to make some changes. Like we actually agree that it's too random. So one of the things that we talked about, like just yesterday, is that we want to add something like a lucky pull mechanic. So basically, every once in a while, you'll be able to choose exactly what you want from the claw machine so that you have some control. And we'd like to make this a reward that we can give away as well in events. The theming, of course, is like still being determined. We just talked about it yesterday, but we wanted to be totally transparent about our thinking here. Oh, and we have more good news, actually.
Yeah, maybe go to the action points of how we going to improve the sentiment on the buffs.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So first off, to clarify, every claw machine will give you a free first pull. Another thing that's... Yeah. Oh. Hey! Yeah, totally. All right. Also, we're going to be running a cheap gem offer. So it's going to be 79 gems for once a month. That'll give you a random Buffy. Yeah, that's right. Although I do want to clarify that I think sometimes players can think of gems as like a feature for paid players only, but actually the majority of gems in our system are free. They're from free sources, right? So when we run a good gem offer, that's actually good for everybody. But yeah. Okay, another thing we're going to do. So we are going to be adding more ways for you to get PowerPoints and coins directly starting next update. And it's a sneak peek. So it'll be a juiced up return of Sugar Rush.
Ah, wait, I put the wrong one, but that serves.
That's
And if you don't remember what Sugar Rush is, we ran it during Brawloween. It's a button you push, and then for a certain amount of time, you get extra stuff. So I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then one other thing, and this is a big one. So we're going to be adding a random Buffy to each mega quest every month.
Each season.
Each season. Season, month, same thing. Yeah. Those are kind of our like short-term plans. And then, of course, like as we talked about, we've been planning ahead for years. Like when we run an event, you can expect more rewards.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so just before we go to the next social media questions, we have a lot of graphs that we didn't use.
Yeah.
And they are very interesting for you.
Yeah.
It's like Quinn, coming back to the question, like, why does Buffy cost that much? And like, is there a problem in the economy right now? Because people say like, they don't have enough resources. What was happening behind the scenes with the economy?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so why don't we start with the graphs? We want to show you some things. So this is a basically coin income graph. So how many coins we give you, and it's just a trend, right? So you can see that in the last few months, you've been getting quite a lot more coins. And if we go to the next one, you can see the same trend with PowerPoints. So this is not a coincidence. Like this is from Buffies, right? Buffies cost more basically so we can give you more. It's actually kind of that simple. If we don't buff the economy, the game can kind of feel kind of flat, you know? And when we do buff the economy, then everything feels better. Now, I do think that there is kind of like a perception issue right now, which is that like we buffed the economy in a bunch of ways. Like daily play is giving you more than twice the rewards. Mega quests, we buffed the free side of the Brawl Pass. We buffed Trophy Road. But all of that can feel kind of intangible, right? Whereas like the Buffy cost is very real. It's like, oh, I really have to pay 2,000 PowerPoints, right? And so I guess we kind of wanted to give you this context as like, if you've noticed that like just sort of like everyday Brawl play is feeling better, like it's actually because of this. And this will of course continue. Like we're not done buffing the rewards. Maybe we can give you like a little breakdown of like kind of where we're at right now in terms of sources. So right now, there are 18 Buffies released every 2 months, and we hope to continue that cadence. So 17 of them have a cost because one of them is free. So that costs 34,000 PowerPoints, right? In terms of like free-to-play monthly sources, there's a bunch of them. So I'm going to list through the main ones. So there's the free track, which will give you 5,600 PowerPoints if you use the resource key on PowerPoints, which you probably should in this economy. In this economy. There's also the... Perfect. I'm glad we got to use that. There's the Mega Quest chain, which gives you 1,000 PowerPoints every month. There's Chaos Drops. Chaos Drops are actually a really good source of progression. Like they're 4 times better than a Star Drop on average. And so you're going to get 30 from daily play because there's 1 every day now. There's 9 in Mega Quests. There's 6 in the free track of the Brawl Pass. So that adds up to 45, which is roughly 2,600 PowerPoints if you want to be really specific about PowerPoints. And then, okay, let's talk about our gachas. So we have 5 per day from the daily play, and there's times 30 because there's 30 days in a month. There's 9 star drops and 2 mega boxes in the free track of the Brawl Pass. So that adds up to about 160, which is, and there's a lot of variability here depending on the gachas, but it might be 3,000 PowerPoints roughly. And then there's a bunch of other things that we do, right? Community events, Trophy Road, new Brawler boxes, special quests, Mega Pig, Brawl Pass tail rewards. And each of them can feel small at the time, but they really add up, right? So this is like another 3,000, 3,500 PowerPoints, on average. So all of those numbers, they add up to about 15,000 PowerPoints. And that's, in 1 month. So you double it and you get to about 31,000 PowerPoints. So that is 15 Buffies plus one for free. So that's 16 Buffies. So we're already not doing too bad in terms of the economy. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's not even including the 2 new Brawlers that we release, right? I want to max those. And that's totally fair. It doesn't include that. So if you want to have a maxed account, I guess we want to be hit the nail on the head here. We think you should buy the Brawl Pass. It's a really good value. And the price we think is pretty reasonable. And if your goal, on the other hand, is to have a really good experience in Brawl and be even a competitive player, then you don't need to have a maxed account, right? In the current economy, you can have dozens of Brawlers maxed out pretty easily. You are able to play at the highest level if you're skilled with those Brawlers, and you'll be able to choose which claw machine you want to empty, right? But you won't be able to have all of them. You'll have to make some choices. And that's kind of I think a fair balance in terms of making sure that we're providing a really fun experience, but that we're also supporting the game. So yeah, that's some more perspective on the economy.
Yeah, and of course, every creator or influencer that breaks down the math, it's very hard to include everything because sometimes it's special events. The baseline is if you play every day, you get more. Pretty much. You participate on the events and everything. And by the way, did you mention that every claw machine has one free?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe we can go to the second question.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds good.
Then Element Set is talking about Map Maker rework. And where is the Map Maker rework 2? Seriously, in my opinion, the Map Maker is one of the coolest features in the game, and yet it's garbage right now.
Strong words. Oof. Yeah, no, but it's a fair point. Maybe I can touch a little bit on this one. So we've been discussing Map Maker for a long time inside of the team. We've discussed many ways to improve it. We discussed many ways we would like to reimagine it. And I think at the end of the day, we haven't really landed on a design that we're all behind of, okay, this is what we should put all our focus in right now. Drop everything, make this happen. When Mapmaker released, of course, it was super popular in the game. It was super successful. And of course, it's still something many players engage with. And I think it's a great way to just get your quests done or just have some chaotic fun. But I think we believe as well that it can be so much more. And it's just about having the resources and having the time for us to actually put on that versus other things we want to focus on. And to be honest, we haven't landed, as I said, on a design that would allow for us to put that in higher priority than on other items we want to do. And that's unfortunately how it works in game development all of the time. You have a million things you want to do, but you need to prioritize them based on what is the most important thing that you believe in right now. That doesn't mean we will never do Mapmaker, by the way. It means that we just have to very much polish the ideas and the designs before we're going to commit to it fully.
Yeah, and then also we had a roadmap video where we state, I think Mapmaker is actually 2 roadmap videos. And you can see how plans change. And of course, just to clarify, in every roadmap video, we actually say hey, plans can change. And the further away from the release date, from the video release date, until the later plan, the further away you are, the more unreliable it is, right? And actually it's stated there. It's we have the desire to do it, but for example, this year we had we were not growing. We're actually in decline. So our focus, how can we stabilize? How can we grow back again? And Mapmaker on its own, an improvement that we have in mind, it will take, 6 months minimum.
And
then I feel this is not what we need right now. We need to get our numbers back. Is it through a new exciting thing? And then with Buffies, I think it was the right call because the game was losing goals. So then we have to change the plans to adapt. And of course, maybe we could have made a bad call. Of course, it can happen, but you do have to adapt to what the game is telling us at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of like communication, like we believe strongly in communicating openly with you guys.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like we can't see the future.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so when we tell you something, it's not that we lied when we changed our mind, you know, it's that we got more information or like things shifted and we had to like change our plans basically. But we still want to be open with you even when that happens.
Yep.
So.
And the fact that in 2 roadmap videos, like map maker is there, is because it's like a sincere desire for us to eventually at some point focus on it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just like a big one.
It's a big thing
to tackle.
It's a big risky thing, and we need to have the game in a state where we can take that big risky bet. Essentially.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And actually, in we're releasing beta. Actually, it was not even like final.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think we polished a bit, and then we made that's the 1.0. But question number 3. How do you feel about the subtle power creep influencing the game? Last year, not a single new Brawler rarity was super rare or rare. You also added a new rarity, Ultra Legendary. I understand that it's difficult to make money, and you can't just give us basically free Brawlers, but it would be nice for more simple concepts to be added. And then he put like Kids Gadget is like Leon Super, Core Gadget is like OT Super, Mina Gadget is Buster Super. It just doesn't make sense to me why our new Brawlers have crazy mechanics just to feel special. And then he mentioned something about Clash Royale lost a huge chunk of their player base, and I'm nervous that Brawl is going down the same path. And then he said, thanks for answering. And Dani Piper when? Which is the most important part.
When, Dani?
I don't know. It's not up to me.
It's clearly not up to you.
This is another one of those questions that's like 3 questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
But let's start with power creep.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to go or should I go?
I can... No, actually, you go.
Okay, I go. Yeah, so I think power creep in and of itself, so I think we just need to first talk about what does power creep mean, right? Like when we say the word power creep, what do we usually refer to? The way I look at power creep, it means basically a new thing, new content, making old content obsolete because of how much more powerful it is. So just to explain that first and foremost, so we're on the same page. Okay, so of course, let's say Hypercharges or Buffies, they are objectively stronger than what was there before. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so personally, because let's imagine instead of Buffies, we would have released, because it was a popular idea, let's say we would have released a 3rd star power, right? Or a 2nd hypercharge. Yeah. I think if we did that, the development cost, so the amount of time it takes to do that, is still quite high. But the excitement is not really there because you acquire it and you don't really feel more powerful. You don't feel like you made progression. You feel like you just spent on something or maybe spent your coins or whatever, and you got something that's not even cool. And that's the last thing we want, right? We need you to feel like whatever you put your mind into, or whatever you put your time into, that it's worthwhile. And the best way to do that is essentially making sure that when you get new content, it is more powerful. That doesn't necessarily mean that it has to trump everything else that's in the game. And that's a balancing question. But that's why basically power creep exists in games as a concept, because otherwise there is no more real excitement of new content updates or drops or whatever.
Yeah, and this goes way beyond Brawl. Like all live operated games have power creep. Another related thing is complexity creep. Yeah. So like if you compare old Brawlers like, I don't know, Bull with Kaze, there's a world of difference in terms of complexity. Yeah. And the reason for complexity creep is actually because like experienced, engaged Brawl players, they like having more tools to play with, right? Yeah. And so we're basically serving them the things that they're more interested in. And that does tend to creep things up over time, which can make older Brawlers feel like a little bit simple, a little bit boring. And once again, Buffies help to kind of even the scale there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then back to the rarity question. I think, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this is a really good point, that we haven't released super rare Brawlers. And the biggest reason for that is basically to what Quinn pointed out, the complexity. And the complexity especially to shield new players from the said complexity, right? Because the more rare super rare Brawlers we make, the more variety you're going to have early game, and the harder it's going to be for a new player to enter Brawl Stars, because you're going to see so many more different Brawlers, there are going to be so many mechanics, you're going to be overwhelmed essentially. And that's why we don't really want to keep releasing these low rarity Brawlers. It's not because we're greedy, Cell. It's because we really want players that come into Brawl to actually enjoy the game and not be overwhelmed. Same thing when we look at rarities and the way we look at mechanics. Oftentimes, we define the rarity based on how complex a brawler mechanics are, right? So taking Kaz as an example, Kaz is an ultra legendary because the mechanics are extremely complex. And that was a deliberate choice. And that's basically how we've thought about rarities in the past and probably how we're going to continue thinking about rarities.
Yeah.
And there's another layer to this question, which is like the economy. So rare and super rare brawlers cost less credits.
Yeah.
Legendary and ultra legendaries cost more credits. So isn't this another greedy sale moment? Also, no. So the main factor here is basically the player journey. So when you start Brawl Stars, it's important that you have, like, you get a lot of brawlers quickly because we want you to be able to have control over who you main, right? But as you get into the middle of the experience, once you have like, a dozen brawlers or something, we actually want to like slow down the experience a little bit. We still want you to be making regular progress, but like we actually don't want to overwhelm you. That's a serious problem in games. Like if I gave you all of the brawlers at once, a new player, they'd be like, no, thanks. Right? And we also like as a team, we really like increasing rewards over time. Like we actually really don't like taking rewards away from you. It's really painful, right?
Yep.
And as we add more rewards into the system, we actually need something to sink those rewards into, right? So it's why we released a lot of mythics this year. It's because like actually the rate of credit acquisition has increased and it doesn't feel that good for most players when they go to fame, right? So that's the reason for the economic side.
Yeah. And then there was another part of it, which was, would it be nice for more simple concepts to be added? And then the comparisons between abilities. It doesn't make sense to me while all brawlers having increased mechanics just feel special, right? So I think this goes back to kind of the novelty and surprise factor that I talked about earlier. Like if we release a brawler that has basically existing mechanics only, that's going to feel really lame. I don't think anyone would be interested in, Cult 2.0. It needs to have something that makes you go, whoa, this doesn't exist in Brawl, or this is a really cool reimagination of something. And of course, there are abilities that will kind of overlap when it comes to the mechanic itself, like invisibility or something like that. And I think that's needed because if we only make new mechanics, the complexity creep is immense, right? Like Brawl will have, 500 mechanics and no one will know what's going on anymore. So we need to be really careful we need to make new brawlers feel special and unique, but also not overly complex just for the sake of feeling unique.
That's true. Although sometimes like we have like really creative members on the team that can like creative their way out of this problem.
Yes.
So a great example is Finks. Like Finks is actually not that complex, but the time slow ability is so cool.
Yeah.
That like he exists now. Like
yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think those are kind of the best solves we always try to look for, like novelty, but not over complexity.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess maybe in an ideal world where we would have infinite resources, maybe we could try to add every now and then one of those simpler brawlers to be added at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we need to choose our shots. No?
Yeah. And to be honest, like I am one of the persons who actually say the same things, like, can we do something new? Because like that's what I chase when I got a new brawler, right? But I think there's no game actually, like no MOBA, no other game that like has like a set of heroes that they have a unique kit, right? Even if you look like Dota, League of Legends, all of them have some stun or like area control. It's like it is super tough, and I think it's also good because like it kind of has these abilities can resonate or can like be a nice combo for the kit of the brawler, right? So sometimes like it makes sense that the brawlers can also be invisible. Also because kit for the being in a box, there's like so many fun reference there. Is like the box from Metal Gear Solid, but also cats love card box. So like, okay, that's a genius move.
We had to do it.
I just have to mention it, but during the Upside Showdown, like that's when I finally saw it, like how the beauty in the box gadget. Like how can you sneak and go into another bus? So then you are not in the bus that they last saw you there. It's like, that's beauty there. Yeah.
It does making annoying,
very annoying
people.
Like, thematically great.
Yes. I didn't mention the name. It's obviously Secretary, of course. Just a shout out to them. That's a hate comment that I picked just to show like that we're not escaping from any question, but also it felt like a person who's like, I'll tell the truths that nobody's saying. But also I think I want to show like how when you're like too emotional, you're actually like driving away from the actual constructive feedback, because if you go through the questions here, we can answer like they are quite like shallow a bit. So, like we can go through that just because like he asked and like there's a lot of upvotes, so like we're not ignoring, but like there is not much to talk about because it's very it's more like accusations rather than questions. But let's go. Why? Well, actually, the first one is an actual question. Why are your refund policies so small? Definitely not industry standard. Other companies absolutely can offer refunds without banning accounts or putting on an insane number of negative resources on the account. They can also remove items off an account if accidentally purchased. You guys help chat run by an unhelpful A-bot that refuses to help.
So I'm going to give you basically a really boring answer.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really hard-hitting question, but the result is actually really boring.
Yeah.
So I guess skip if you don't want to hear a boring answer. Okay, so in terms of our refund policies and like, banning accounts. Okay, so let's talk about banning accounts. We do that very, very rarely. When that happens, it's when the item is like non-revocable. And then if the amount is like significant, then we will basically give that person an offer, like do they want to close their account and get the refund, or do they want to not get the refund and keep their account? And then we leave it up to them. We also will ban accounts when we've noticed fraudulent activity, or if there's like some sort of refund abuse going on.
Yep.
In terms of, hold on, what's the next part?
The negative thing, I guess.
The negative thing. Oh, negative resources on an account. Right. So this is probably talking about our Brawl back chargeback policy.
Yeah.
So when you, some people like will buy the Brawl Pass and then they'll get all the rewards from the pay tracks and then they'll charge back the Brawl Pass on their credit card. So what happens in this case is that we will give them a negative gem balance equal to the value of the Brawl Pass. And then we also give them an offer, which lets them remove that negative gem balance for the price of that item. And then we basically leave it up to the player. Like, do they want to keep the negative gems or do they want to pay for the Brawl Pass? And the reason we go about this way is actually for several reasons. Like one of them is like just technically speaking, it would be really hard to claw back all of those resources because there's like so many different kinds of things that the Brawl Pass contains, right? Resources that could be spent on like power levels, and then how do you get those back, right? Titles, skins, all sorts of stuff, right? And it would also be like, even if we could develop this like really intricate per user clawback, it would be probably buggy, and then it would be really hard for us to even identify like where it was going wrong. And then also like there's a fairness issue, right? So like if you were using this, you could effectively rent cosmetics, right? You could like have the Brawl Pass, you know, wear it in game and then be like, I don't want it anymore. Charge back your credit card. So for all that reason, that's why we have the negative gem offer. And then the final part is the AI bots, right? So yeah, we don't use AI in billing. And this question is about billing, I think. So in that case, there is like some pre-selected messages that you go through, and that's just to collect the relevant data and figure out like who to send you to. And then we send you to an agent for a manual, dealing with your account. But you're talking to a real person. We do use AI, but that's for our gameplay chatbot. So that one doesn't have any access to your account, but it'll give you gameplay advice. Yep. And I think that's actually just like kind of nice to have. Like, I don't think there's any real issues with that.
Yeah. And of course, like there are multiple ways that like the game can detect that something was refunded. Because like could be like it happens that some kids get the credit card of the parents see a purchase that they haven't made, they ask the bank to retract that purchase, and then the game detects that, and then it kind of like charge back what is the expression? Charge back the gems or the value of the pass in your account. It could be that like a person who thought it was a friend gave you a Brawl Pass and scammed you, and then he asked for a refund, so like it actually takes from your account. So like there's a multitude of options that it doesn't always require the owner of the account to go to the support and ask for a refund. So like usually don't ask for a refund. I think like if like it was a real mistake, it's fine. But there is like if you buy something that has like way more value than the actual money that you put in, then there is like this chargeback mechanic that we have in the game. Why does every update have to introduce a new cash grab? Is a monthly is a monthly subscription not enough? Actually, I would like to say that, like, if you would think like Brawl Stars as, for example, Netflix, to access Netflix, everyone has to subscribe. If every player we had pay for the Brawl Pass, yes, we would be fine.
And to be fair, we are fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we are a business. Like
Yeah.
we're not a nonprofit. Oh, also just about this question. Like,
Yeah.
we're actually happy to answer any question that you have. Like,
Yeah.
as hard hitting as you can, that's fine. But only if it's specific, right?
Yeah.
Like I actually don't know what he means by cash grab. Like there's a
Yeah.
bunch of things it could be. Like maybe it's like he has an issue with in-app purchases,
Yeah.
or like maybe it's when we have collab events, like you can buy waffles for gems. It could be any number of things. Like if you're specific, we will give you an answer. But if you're not specific, then like we don't know how to give you an answer.
Yeah.
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 But just like still saying about like the monthly subscription. Yeah, like if everyone would buy the Brawl Pass, we would be like super happy. And like I think the percentage of people who buy Brawl Pass, I'm trying to do like a math on my head, so it'll be probably off. So you correct me. But I think from the revenue we got on the day one from with the DAU, is it like less than 1%, isn't it?
Oh geez, I haven't looked at this recently. Okay, so I think well, and I don't think we want to say exactly how many
Yeah.
people spend money on the game, but like normally we look at the percentage.
Yeah.
But it's like yeah, it's a good amount of people, but most people are free to play. Like the
Yeah.
vast
Yeah,
majority of people are
vast
free to play.
majority.
Yeah, yeah,
But like Vest 90% top, right? It's not.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Then why are you still using RNG systems for things like records and especially buffies? Not everything needs a gacha system. We kind of touched on that already.
we- Yeah.
Like, we tried. We tried for 3 actually update cycles. Masteries and Bling, they were all deterministic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't help.
So actually, maybe I can add one
Yeah.
more like kind of view on this, which is that so we do offer direct rewards, and
Yeah.
we also get a lot of, I guess like pushback, but also just like lack of engagement often when we do that. So, and it's really interesting the reason for it. So let's say we offer you 100 coins, right? Well, some players actually don't need 100 coins right now. They want power points, or they want bling, or they want something else, right? But when we offer you a star drop, actually that appeals to more people more often because it might have the thing that
Yeah.
they want, right? And so like especially like if you're like going to change your play habits based on a resource that you don't want, then you just don't play, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like if there's a chance, then you do. Yeah, so that's another angle.
Yeah, and actually, like, there was a designer before you. I think you're actually replacing. Yeah, he was working on the Brawl Pass, and then we were talking the economy or like rebalancing the new Brawl Pass that he was also working when we had the Star Road, and then he put like super rare star drops in the pass as like buffing it, and then I said like no, remove that because like it is mathematically better, but you remove all the hope from opening a star drop, like because then you guarantee a super rare reward as opposed like a normal star drop that it can be better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thankfully, you didn't go with the super rare star drops in the
Yeah,
past.
right.
Why do you have to gaslight players with things like Masters weren't popular, so we are replacing them with records? We all know the truth.
So yeah, popular is an interesting word because it's a little bit vague. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and we like to be specific because like we basically make better decisions when we're specific, right? So popular could mean sentiment, like, and Masteries are definitely great for sentiment.
Yeah.
Are they popular in terms of engagement or playtime? No, they are not. Right. So there's a distinction there.
Yeah, we talk about that in the first question also. What do you have to say to those who say you are losing players because you are not honest with them? Because you guys gaslight them, because you nickel and dime then every update with new gacha, and you remove popular features and replace them with unpopular ones. Well, I guess like for records, fair argument.
And to be clear, like I'll say this again and again, our mission is to grow Brawl, and we never want to take a popular feature and replace it with an unpopular one because that's against our goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That being said, we don't always get it right.
Yeah.
And then there's one thing that we do in a bold way compared to other games out there is like we rarely A/B test these changes.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Basically because of the community. Like there's other reasons, but it's like people would hate like half of the players would stay having masteries and then some would have records. Like then the uproar would be massive. No?
And that will be like a super smart way to do it. Like it will be super effective, right? We will know guaranteed before releasing to everyone that if it's performatic or not.
Yeah.
But then like one thing that he also mentioned, the honest, like we don't need to be doing this podcast. Like these guys have other jobs, and I drag them here to talk about how to be transparent about the things we do and like our opinions on the things. It's like that should be enough. That like not many companies do, right? Like if you see another company that does the same, like talk openly about their development, their economy, and everything, let me know because I want to learn from them. But I think we are the first ones that are very open about our business.
And just maybe piggyback on that, like whenever we talk about something here, we are trying to be literally as transparent and honest as possible. But then it's also fine for you guys to disagree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that is fine as well. We just want to let you guys know where is our thinking coming from. What do we believe? You don't have to believe the same thing or you don't have to agree with us. But at least then you know why, right? Yeah. And we're not here telling you other reasons. We're telling you our actual reasons, right? And if you want to disagree, fine. That's all good.
And in terms of like, I guess this question, like everyone on the Brawl team is incredibly passionate about Brawl and we all work as hard as we can to make Brawl better, right? That is where the place that we're coming from, right? So like, in terms of like the nickel and diming thing, like I don't really think that's true. Like I don't think we nickel and dime players. Like we do often like work towards revenue. Like for instance, we just redid the Brawl Pass, right? But the way that we do that is that we want to get a small amount of money from a lot of people, right? Like we monetize wide rather than deep. Like, cause like every game has to make money and you have to decide what's your strategy. And we basically monetize wide, right? And so like when we do go after revenue, like we don't try and gaslight you. We're super straightforward about it. And we try and offer you better value. And like we definitely do in the new Brawl Pass.
Yeah. And I think like also like for like coming back to the Buffies price, like now because of their cost, because of their RNG, it gave us so much room for live events, or not live events, like community events, or like the things that we do like that inject more resources. Because like the most praised event that we ever had was the 100 star drops, right? And then at that time we had the freedom to do those things. And before Buffies, we didn't because our economy was already growing and wallets were being inflated. Like, so people had a lot of resources. They didn't have goals. So we couldn't do like a massive event. And now we can.
Absolutely. And actually related to this, like, so Brawl has been on a bit of a decline this year. And I guess for context, like last year we were like absolutely huge, right? We were like number one in many points. So like, it's hard to maintain that, right? And we have come down from that. And we've been reflecting a lot on like, what is the reason for that? And we think that basically the reason is because of how players interact with Brawl. So most players, they only play about a dozen Brawlers regularly and maybe less, right? And so when those players have those Brawlers maxed out, we found that they're basically like less excited by the game. They're less motivated to open their star drops, collect rewards. And so the game becomes less sticky, right? And that's kind of been the biggest headwind that we faced in this last year, right? Because Hypercharges came out 2 years ago. We released a whole batch of them in the first year, and now is the second half. And the second half is always less exciting than the first half, right? And so basically with Buffies, that is like, I guess, changing the trend, right? And that's actually really good for the growth of the game. And so I'm feeling like really optimistic.
I would like to also add something like Quinn just mentioned, like we are in a little bit of a decline, no? And like still compared to how we were doing like 4 years ago, we are doing great.
We should show a DAU.
Yeah, we should. We have some graphs.
Oh, we have it on this as well? Okay.
We do.
Awesome.
A little farther. Yeah, okay. So we're going to show you 3 versions because you can use graphs to tell a story. And depending on where you cut off the graph, it tells a very different story.
But let's finish the talk first.
I mean, basically, it's like, I know that online, everyone is looking for the headline that is clickbaiting in a way, no? And it's very easy to, once there's like words out there like, they are not doing as good as they were doing, they are dying. And it's like, well, we are not actually dying. Like we are way better than we were like years ago. So if we didn't die back then, definitely we are not dying now.
That's true.
This dead game, so in November during Stranger Things, we had over 1 billion runs in Upside Showdown. So just, for context.
Sounds pretty dead to me.
Yeah.
So this is like the whole life cycle of the games, like from release. you can see like the lowest we ever got. That's the Mastery and Bling update, and then right after like this small climb up and remaining like the retention was like stable. There was the star drop. It's like that was like when we stopped actually declining, when we started like flattening out.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, if you go back to 2 years ago, because we've been doing a lot of reflection as to like what caused that gigantic increase. So it was like Hypercharges were released.
Here.
Oh yeah. Hypercharges were released in September 2022.
No,
But-
2020.
But it was star drops and hypercharges, no? Like back to back.
Yes.
Yes.
So then it was, I think star drops were June, July. I think it's maybe August or...
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Brawl Pass, where we switched it to real money.
That was December 2023. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the foundation, and then the big growth happened with the Masteries. The 100 Star Drops community event, and then Godzilla is when it went really bananas. Yeah.
Bananas.
So yeah, this is the whole life cycle. So you can see that we're doing quite well currently relative to our entire life cycle. And then you can show 2025, which is much more sad face. But then we can also show you the last 3 months. And so this is looking a little bit more hopeful. Like you can see that when Buffies were released near the end there, that it's starting to climb again. So still early days, but continuing story.
For people who's listening on Spotify or other things, we are actually showing graphs, visual graphs. So maybe you want to jump on the video and see what we're talking about.
Good point in there. Nice cue.
The Rio Krazuki. Why the fallback rewards are so bad? 1,000 coins for Hypercharge, 1,000 bling for a Hypercharge skin.
I find this question really interesting, this topic. Okay, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a Hypercharge, a random Hypercharge, or 5,000 coins?
It's a good question.
5,000.
5,000 coins, because you can use coins on anything, right? You could use it on a specific Hypercharge, or you could use it to level up a Brawler or a Star Power. It's flexible, right? So it's clearly better.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a random Hypercharge or 4,000 coins?
4,000 coins.
4,000 coins, because as we talked about, most players, they only play a dozen Brawlers, right? Those are the Brawlers they want to level up, right? If I get a random Hypercharge, there's 99 Brawlers in the game, right? What are the odds that I'm going to get the Hypercharge that I actually need? Actually super low, right? So you should take the coins. And actually, like, to have it be balanced where it's a hard decision, it's pretty close to 1,000, right? In terms of like getting something that you actually want right now. Yeah, so that's the kind of the reason for it.
Yeah.
I see. So like, otherwise you will always pick the coins. Like,
Always
they
pick the
gave me a
coins.
Hypercharge. I wish I had the fallback.
Yeah.
And the reason that like we want to give you a random Hypercharge is again because it's really easy to get stuck in a rut in the game, where like you're always playing the same Brawler, and the game starts to get boring. And when we give you a Hypercharge, it's like kind of like a push for you to try something different, right?
Yep.
And that's actually really good for your experience in the long term.
Yeah, and it's also exciting, like, because even the 5,000 coins is obviously not obviously, but mathematically better. Like if I put like, there is 5,000 coins in the shop right now, as opposed like there's a free Hypercharge in the shop right now. The free Hypercharge gets the news, right? It's the thing that people, let's go. Like there is the anticipation of what you can get.
Yeah.
Even though the other one is better, you can choose what you want. Like
Yeah, and like so much of the feel of the game is done by Gon when he works on things like this, because like the excitement is all in the presentation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something.
No, sorry. This is I have a yesterday I opened an Hypercharge, like a random Hypercharge starter coming from the login calendar. It happens now that finally I have all the Hypercharges in the game. I mean, it's taken me a while. I've been playing for more than 5 years, and then I got the coins. And then I was like, yes, because I was like, I didn't know if I actually had all the Hypercharges. I can get a Buffy now. And it's like, who I'm going to get? Like, I actually don't need any Hypercharges. And then I was like, ooh, this is like Buffy material,
That's awesome.
Large Brook Trout. Are you going to slow down on Brawlers after 100, or have any plans of stopping and just refining what you have?
Great question. Yeah. I think this is a very deep philosophical question even. I think there's two parts to this. I think first off, if we have any plans of stopping or just refining what you have. I don't think that's an either or question. I believe we can release Brawlers and refine what we have simultaneously, which what we're basically doing with Buffies and so forth. So are we going to slow down on Brawlers after 100? I don't know, to be honest. We have done a lot of thinking on this. We have looked at, of course, other benchmark games. We have looked at what is the optimal number. When do we see diminishing returns? The matter of the fact right now is the most exciting games, one of the most exciting games for anyone to play the game is when a new Brawler comes out. And we haven't seen real diminishing returns on that. So until we see a good reason to slow down, which is, our Brawlers, no matter how awesome we make them, people are not interested anymore. If that happens, yes, absolutely, we would slow down. But we haven't seen any signs of that happening. And I think it would be a mistake at this point to slow down before we see that happening.
Absolutely. And then there's also the question of like, how many Brawlers before you can't keep track of them all?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think we're anywhere close to that yet.
No.
Like, I don't know. I love Pokemon. The first Pokemon game launched with 150, right?
Yep.
So maybe when we get to 150, then we should start having this conversation about like, okay, are we crossing into too many? But like, no, that's a ways off.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I guess the short answer is there a point where we should slow down? Yes, absolutely. Do we know where that is? No, not really.
Yeah, but definitely we are not there yet.
Yeah, but we are not there yet.
Yeah.
Based on Pokemon, is after 150.
Yeah,
Because
so
I don't know anyone after 150.
Yeah, I remember when I joined this team, like I did have that concern because anyway, I guess I was still learning the Brawlers, and back then it was like 40 or something like that, or even less.
Yeah.
So when I was imagining more and more, I was like, "Oof, this is gonna be like a user experience issue." But the truth is, it's actually not. I guess how we do the matchmaking also helps, like in terms of like, you actually don't really need to know all the details of the Brawlers that you are facing or you are playing with. But still, that's what keeps things interesting. No?
Yeah, there is an issue with the player journey, we think, which is that like when you join Brawl right now, we throw you into a 100 Brawler meta, right?
Yeah.
And like you shouldn't have to learn 100 Brawlers at once. Like that's not a good experience. It should be drip fed to you better. And right now it's not. So
From Pufoka, are you actually as a long time player, the game feels like a chore now. It feels like you have taken all the enjoyment out of it. Do you guys play the game? And if so, are you happy with the where the things are at where the things are? Like it's talking about the state of the game right now.
It's a very broad question. I think maybe we can all give our take on this. I think first off, yes, absolutely, we play the game. We play the game tons. Of course, some people play it less, some people play it more, and it goes in waves, so just like normal players. And I think the fact that it feels like a chore to you, I think that's an interesting observation, because I think for a lot of us, it definitely is the opposite, where we kind of go to Brawl when we have some time and we want to just have some time to relax. It's not something we feel we have to do. And I don't think we ever want the game to feel like a chore. That is not what we're trying to do. It feels like you've taken all the enjoyment out of it. This is very non-specific. I would love to understand more like what this refers to. I think what, again, we're trying to do all the time is the opposite, which is, hey, here's new cool stuff you can play with. Here's new cool Brawlers, features, game modes, whatever it is, right? Like we're trying to do the absolute opposite of that. Are we happy where things are at? So this, I think, is the most maybe specific question we can all give our take on. But I think for me, I'm very happy with a lot of the things in the game, and I'm very unhappy with some other things. So like we just talked about Records, for example. I'm not happy where we are with Records, but I'm confident that we will have a good solution for that. I am happy with some of the buffies we released on launch, not all of them, for example, from a balancing perspective. So I think it's a more nuanced question than are we happy or not with the game. I think overwhelmingly positive, yes. Are we happy with everything? Absolutely no.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I can go. I mean, I play the game a lot. Am I happy? Okay, so I think in many ways, Brawl is in a stronger state than it's ever been in. So like, let me give you some concrete examples. Like the Stranger Things event was super fun. Upside Showdown was so fresh. Brawloween, super nice. In terms of just every day playing the game, I think the daily play is feeling really good right now. Mega quests, I'm really enjoying them. Like consistent rewards, consistent progress. So all that, like the base of Brawl is actually really good. But in terms of like whether I'm happy, like I think we all have greater ambitions for Brawl than where it's currently at. And like in that sense, I'm not happy. Like I'm not satisfied. Like there's still so much more work to do. So
I play a lot. Definitely, maybe the time I had played the most this game has been during the Stranger Things event.
Yeah, me too.
I went nuts. like I had like this absurd objective of trying to get like as many different brawlers to get a run. No, not even trying like a perfect run. I was close once, but yeah. But yeah, like I guess after that, like maybe I'm still playing a lot, and definitely the buffies have helped to compensate like this. I'm missing the upside down actually. But yeah, am I happy with the game? Like, yes, but definitely there's things that we are always seeing as a potential improvement that we could do, and there's things that in a way have been there for a long time. Let's say this long time request of can we improve how the pins are handled in the game? No, like can we provide more pins to be used during a battle or things like that? Definitely, that's something I'm not happy with, and I'm not happy with the fact that it's not there yet. Like, and that change. But yeah, like definitely is something that I consider just like a nuance thing in the experience. I'm positive that we will get there at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's not removing the happiness for the game.
I think maybe this is a good way to put it. Like we can be, of course, very happy about different aspects of the game, but we will always have a laundry list of things we want to be better, right? Like this will never stop. As long as we all work on this project, we will always feel strongly about stuff that we want to do better or things that we want changed. And that's the nature of working on an awesome game like Brawl, on a live game in general.
Yeah, I guess for me, I do play the game, try to get legendary tier every time, every season in ranked. And then if I'm happy with the game, well, I'm the community manager. So right now, the sentiment is not great. So I'm not like super happy. Like I don't read social media like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But I think, well, having this podcast, bringing this community initiative back, the Supercell make is actually live. Actually, when this is go live, it's going to be voting time, which is the most fun part of it. We had a discussion about the sentiment on how to improve it. Like we're taking actions on those things. Like I'm happy because like I've also working like in other games in other companies, and this team is like the best place for a community manager to be because like people really care about it. Like if I'm not bringing threads from Reddit or posts from Twitter, the team is already going through there and seeing how's the sentiment. Like they are watching content creators' video. They're like bringing the topics that they talked about and bring to the meeting. So like this thing is very community driven, even though sometimes because we don't have like these channels or these videos every now and then, it feels like it's a bit distant. But like being in Brawl, I think it's such like I'm very grateful for being a community manager in Brawl Stars because like I've been in other games and it's very far from being like community driven. And I was a community manager there in those games before as well. But I think there's lots of room for improvements. Stranger Things, I think it was my favorite update as well. I play so much. I play during work also. Like it's like every time like there's a break between meeting, like let's just play this match. Try to complete all the one icon in the. What is it?
Yeah, in the collection of the event. Yeah. So I got cramps playing like upside down. I was in bed and it's like, okay, actually I need to stop playing.
That's so good.
It was so good. It needs to come back with another brand because we can't reuse that. Question number 9. Sam. Will brawlers with incomplete trios have to wait longer for buffies? I'm thinking Charlie, who's probably going to be handicapped for Buffy release by the fact she has no trio members despite being over 2 years old.
Yeah, I mean, so the fact that we used trios at the start doesn't mean that we always have to adhere to the same thing necessarily. Like just because a brawler doesn't have a complete trio does not mean they'll not receive a Buffy. Like there could easily be an update where we take all of these brawlers that have incomplete trios and give them buffies.
They reject this. No.
Nothing stops us from doing that. So I would love to try to disconnect like when a brawler is getting a buffy with do they have a trio. These things are not necessarily connected.
Yeah, and miracles can happen. Pierce has just completed Jurassic.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Crazy stuff.
But that sounds good. It's like the Misfits update.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I think it would be a funny gag if we never complete a trio of a brawler. Right?
Oh
It's like it's
no!
forever.
Who is forever alone?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the most controversial thing in this entire podcast.
Yeah. Well, Zig is alone as well, right?
yeah.
Just,
yeah.
Cupid Crust. What happened to the 2,400 credits on the free side of the Brawl Pass?
Great question. Yeah, so we released our plans for the December update in November. And we did that because we wanted to give you guys as much information about what was coming ahead of time so that you could make an informed decision, especially since we were about to run a Black Friday sale and we didn't want to pull the rug out from under you or anything. But the thing is that we were like in the middle of development. And of course, like we don't have all of the answers until we like worked it out.
Yep.
And we do prefer to like give you locked information when we can. Just in that case, it wasn't completely locked. Now, we did mention that at the top of the post. Of course, no one ever pays attention to that part. So the reason for the change, and everything in that post was accurate except for this one change, is that we felt after reviewing some more information that PowerPoints would be needed more than credits. So we gave you more credits. We gave you 600 more credits and we reduced the... Sorry. We gave you 600 more PowerPoints and we reduced the credit buff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have no idea how many times I edited that document. I think at some point, like, it has to go live at some point. I just ship it because like it was constantly changing because it was being written in the middle of the development.
Yeah.
And just to praise the fact that you, it was the second time that we have done this. Like before a big Brawl Pass change, we actually announced it.
Yeah.
And for us, it's a big sacrifice in terms of hype. Because we reveal the details before doing the teasing or the Brawl Talk big moment, but still, like I would say, it's definitely worth it. Both, I would say, for community reaction, and in a way also as a game developer, like definitely when we are doing something that might be controversial, like being able to at least every now and then actually announce it when we are still doing it, just in case we need to pivot.
Yep.
It feels good to the announcement is out and like people are not throwing.
But I guess I also compare like with the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like we wanted to announce that before the Black Friday because like we were changing the price of the Brawl Pass, we are adding a new resourcing. So we wanted the players to like before they spend the stuff or like they buy offers that they know what's coming, so they can make like an educated purchase and everything. So like that was our time pressure. Mm-hmm. But I think like it's like most of the industry don't do that. Like they change and like there you go, now it's new. Like, so we gave time, and then even like the Brawl Pass thing, that now that you can't buy anymore, but before you could buy the old Brawl Pass and then change, like buy a token and then claim the high value Brawl Pass afterwards. Like we announced everything beforehand. So like we know it could be controversial, but we wanted to make like this smooth as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Reddit questions are over, and now we're going to Twitter, where the first question is, who peed in the pool? That's from Senior Wiro. Actually, the name is... No, that's the name or the ID? I don't know. But I'll put you on the screen. And then to answer this question, we have Adan. Come here, Adan. Where is it? Clap. Even my headset's a bit warm. I can this one.
Yeah. Whatever you prefer.
Hello, Adam.
Hey guys.
So Adam, tell me who you are, what do you do, and your favorite brawler.
So I'm Adam. You guys know, but the mysterious people somewhere don't. I work in product marketing, but pretty much what that means is I work on the like launch campaigns for like the new Brawlers or the new seasons. So for players, probably what they see the most is the animations that come out. I think my first one was Toy Story or Meeple, and I've been doing, like, obviously split it between people on the team, but I do a few of those different ones. And my favorite brawler, I had an hour to think about it, and I still couldn't decide.
He was just watching from that.
Yeah. I think my most played, I found out, was Melody. Oh. But I'm not good enough at it for it to be my favorite. But I think I play a lot of Mandy. I play a lot of Maisie. I play a lot of Colette. I'm really enjoying Pierce as well, and that's kind of why I'm here. But yeah, some of the Reddit comments kind of soured it to me. But yeah, all the brawlers.
Other brawlers. So Adam, do you want to tell us who peed in the pool?
Actually, what's funny is we actually did have a plan to release a final piece of content that was going to come out at the end, but I think like it was so cool. Like the whole campaign was very different to what we've done before. Like the series content we haven't really touched on before. The inbox event was also something completely new, trying to do this investigation. And I think we were trying so hard to like make it believable it could be anyone, and also put these different pieces together that when we got to the end and we had this like final piece, it was pretty late when we actually had it, and it felt like the conversation had already moved on to like we were talking about the new pass and the new season. So it felt like we missed the moment for it, and also it didn't feel like as maybe satisfying as we wanted it to feel like to what felt like such a cool campaign. And there was so much cool discussion as well online of people talking about it was this one, it was this. Even once like everyone said it was Pierce, but I don't know where that came
Not
from.
everyone,
Or like
it was the majority of the votes.
I think it was like Reflex or someone on just said it was Pierce. It was like he's the one investigating. He was even in the park at the time.
He had some bad door advice too.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, yeah. But yeah, so we have a video. So we can show the unreleased video of what was gonna come out. I don't know.
Yeah, but
is it gonna play somewhere mysteriously, or
I have to play from go to my downloads.
your down?
Are there any spoilers in your downloads?
No, they won't see.
Okay.
Yeah, full screen. You guys haven't seen as well, right?
No.
It's a surprise as well for
Yep.
these guys.
I actually spoiled it for them right before, so
Come on.
sorry, Daniel.
Pierce, my hero! Huh? Whoa! I can't believe it was Mandy. Huh? What the?
Yeah, that's it. It's over.
Epic.
We did it.
Like thinking
That's right.
about it now that I see it, it's like okay, it makes so much sense that it's just annoying them. So
Well,
he's
yeah.
the ultimate prankster in a way. No?
He was a prankster, and also if you went through the investigations, there was this subplot of him like trying to take over Rainbow Candy Stand. So it was like he was trying to frame Mandy for it. So it was. I think there's also some mystery there as well on whether he is the peer, or it's still up for mystery because maybe he was just using the incident. So there's an original peer, and then he was just copying using Mustard. So kind of. Maybe the peer is still out there.
That'll be episode
Maybe
4.
I didn't answer anything. Yeah, people loved peace so much that we're gonna do like no. I completely understand that there was too much pee. Because it was like this super fun idea that we came up with in the marketing meeting where we're like, okay, he's the security guard or the sanitation expert at the pool. Like, what kind of issues is he solving? And it's like, it was so obvious, like, oh, people peeing in the pool is a problem. But then when it actually came to it, it was like Dani, because over Christmas, I spent so much time looking at Reddit, and like there was people like, this guy needs to get fired. They don't even know who I am.
Welcome to my world.
I'm now so ready for like, after this comes out, I'll see like, this is the dude with the pee fetish or whatever. And I was like, oh no, now they've got my face. Like it should be blurred out. But like, I messaged Dani because I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, this is the end. Like, I'm going to get back in on like after Christmas and Frank's going to fire me. That was like, that was what was going through my head. And then he goes like, look, it was a good gag, but you made like a movie out of it. And I was like, yeah, that's right. It was like a funny moment, but because we tried to do this ambitious thing of creating like series content and doing something longer, which I really, really am happy about that. Like we see it really worked in terms of people engaging, people watching. Like we always try and analyze videos based on how much they watched of the video. And like for these videos, like people retained from the beginning to the end, almost flat. So they really wanted to know, and like the story actually kept them retained. And like I think the inbox component, like out of all the things I've worked on, I have like many videos I like more than like I really love Trunk that I worked on, Brawl Arena meant a lot to me, like Meatball, all these Ollie, like the Katana Kingdom stuff. But like this was the one where everyone was talking about it, and that like as like someone who's like that's their job. Like I now want to do only stuff like this where it should be a moment where everyone is talking about that thing. And I'm sad that everyone was talking about P this time, but I hope next time like we can do something cooler, which is like because I know everyone wants more lore stuff, and I want to do something that is more lore driven, but like everyone can talk about it as opposed to who peed in the pool.
Yeah, you were just going through what have you done for the project, and I would just like to highlight like something that you did that in a way for me is like a personal achievement. Like I'm a big comic and manga reader, so during Katana Kingdom, Adam was the one helping us out to pull off the big effort that was like to tell the story in a manga and also anime format that was also animated. So yeah, like you don't only do P stuff.
I've done other stuff. I remember
does many amazing things for us.
The manga one was insane because we had such a short lead time and we wanted to do so much that like all the episodes were made in like 2 weeks, like, and it was absolutely crazy. But I think it's one of my favorite things that I got to do.
No, I think my favorite is Trunk, and I think it's like it's. I remember even Quinn. I think you almost cried on Trunk.
When like she gets squished and then there's just horror on his face, like that was diabolical. How dare you?
Trunk I love, and also Trunk is extra special because I am the voice of Trunk in game, which not many.
I didn't know that.
It's me pitched up by like 1,000 times. I was like, because like Martin like said, "Oh, do you want to do a voice?" And I'm like, "What cool badass character am I gonna be?" He's like, "You're a tree full of ants." I was like, "Come on!" like completely unrecognizable to your own voice. So
And then maybe Tease Globert. Tease Globert.
Will it be out? It'll be out by the time this comes out.
It will be out. Yeah.
Well,
then you can just.
It comes out next Friday.
Yeah.
But like, what should I tease about Globert? Globert video, super excited for it. I am singing in the video.
Ooh.
Like I wrote and sang the song. Unless you hate it, and then I didn't. Like,
it sounds amazing.
but yeah, I really hope people like it. It's not about P, and it's not silly. We do stuff that's doo-doo, but no. Like,
so we believe in taking risks, and I think Adam really exemplifies this.
Yay!
Globert I'm super excited for, and we have other stuff in the work that I'm even more excited for. And as I said, like, I think the Pierce thing was a great learning on this kind of more serialized content, and I really hope we can do more of that in the future. Like, it's a lot of work that we put in, but I think it's really worth it, and I would love to do more.
Thank you so much, Adam. Is there anything you want to say to the players before you leave?
I want to say that we also, like, maybe it doesn't come across all the time, but we are, like, always paying so much attention to all the comments and everything you say. Like as I said, one of the first videos I did was Meeple and Toy Story, and we did a lot of voices in that. And we saw how much people loved having the voices, and then I think people have noticed that, we did a ton more of that stuff. So I think, like, do be vocal and say things you like and or don't like anything, because like I promise after this no more P. like we listen, but also whatever, like more voices or more serialized content, whatever it is, like we listen, and I scour Reddit like nonstop for good or for bad, and we just want to do stuff that you enjoy, and it's for you guys. So yeah, I hope that everyone enjoys it.
There's so much more fluids to explore, right?
No more fluids. I'm done.
Okay,
Stop making me do it, Dani.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Cool. Now continue with the questions. Enough about urine. Still from Twitter, Span, like a content creator. I always like say that he was like the world champion in 2019. I keep referring that because the further away from his title, the worse the title gets. Like, because it's people saying like, it's just
Worse?
watching.
I don't know.
But I want to change. Now he's a awesome content creator with like very valid points about competitive pro gaming. Sorry. Anyway, with the introduction of buffies, I think brawlers without buffies are going to be even more power crept. even worse than the last few years with the Hypercharge release. These new brawlers are receiving at least 5 changes to their kit. What are your reasonings to release Buffies this way?
Yeah, I think this is a good question first and foremost. I think we'll touch on power creep a little bit, but I also think the fact that we're going to go through it soon, the deltas, so meaning the difference between having a Buffy and not having a Buffy, is maybe not as big as you might think, essentially. Like, the community sentiment right now is that Buffies are OP and that's it. And some are very good. But I think if you compare to actually OP stuff that we had in the past, say Larry and Lori or Release Rosa or something like this.
Classic.
Yeah, Buffies pale in comparison. Yes. So I just wanted to show really quickly the Buffies win rates when you have a Buffy versus when you don't have a Buffy, because there's been a lot of talk about Buffy. So this data is only from Legendary Plus in Ranked for the last few days. So in my mind, an acceptable win rate differential that a Buffy should have is somewhere between 5 to 10%. Like, that's an acceptable win rate range. And if we look at the absolute win rate, so that's the right-hand side column, for example, if you have a Buffy and you're using Silver Bullet, your win rate on Colt is around 53%, right? Like, that's what that column means. If you're not using the Buffy, you're going to have a win rate of 44%. This, of course, also includes that if you're not using the Buffy, your Colt might also be lower level than 11. You might not have Hypercharge and so forth. But still, this gives us some idea of what is the absolute power of having a Buffy versus not having a Buffy. And this is all the gadgets we released in the update. And as you can see, there is no delta, more or less, that is higher than 10%. The only one is Mortis's Creature of the Night, but that even goes from lower to much higher. So it's still above 50, but not by much, right? So the ranges are not bad at all. But it does mean that, of course, stuff like Ems, who is just strong in general, she has sporting a really high win rate both with and without the Buffy. And those are when I talk about balancing outliers a lot of the time in the community, this is what I mean when I say outliers, right? When you see something above 60% on the win rates, that's probably something we want to address ASAP. And then we can go to the next one. This is just more, but this is for then the star powers. And you see a similar story here where, for example, Hype, which is considered the strongest star power of all time with the Buffy, right, is sitting at 65, which is high, but the delta is not that high. And for example, maybe Mortis with Coiled Snake, who is also sitting at 65% win rate, is not getting talked to as much. And I think this is interesting because perceptionally, I think, you would believe that Ems is a much stronger brawler with the Hype star power. However, Mortis is sporting similar win rates, but it doesn't feel as oppressive. And I think this is also a really big part of balancing a lot of the time, where we know the absolute numbers of things, but that doesn't help if you feel differently. And I think that's where we have to kind of marry these two things, like make sure the numbers are correct, but that it's something also doesn't feel bad to play against. And I think that's where, for example, Hype, Em's star power fails, because it's really frustrating shooting at something that's invulnerable, not getting any supercharge, wasting your ammo. Like, that feels much worse than a Mortis dashing a little bit more often and getting a damage reduction for it, even though they're equally strong, like as per data. So just wanted to point those things out.
And there is a small difference, well, not small, between like the average Mortis player and the legendary Mortis player. So the average Mortis win rate is like below 50%, right? Still with Buffies.
Yeah.
And that's just because, like, a lot of like low skill players like Mortis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the last graph I want to show you guys is actually two more. This is just the Hypercharge ones as well, similar stories. Ems, of course, being super strong. The other ones not really having that much delta either. Like Colt, for example, is crazy here to me, right? Like, it has 49.74 to a 50.96. There's nearly no difference, which to me is pretty crazy.
It's all good.
Yeah. So Colt, for all intents and purposes, is more or less the perfectly balanced brawler right now. But yeah, Of course, other ones will have a little bit higher than 50% win rates, but nothing as egregious, again, as we had with Larry and Laurie or Release Rose or anything like that. But, stuff like M's definitely need to be tuned down slightly to make it less frustrating to play against. And this is the last thing I want to show you. I don't think we've ever shown this publicly, so I just wanted to include it. This is the last 3 days, as this was recorded, from win rate and usage rates in Master and Pro ranks only. So this is the very top end of all our players. What are they playing and how well are they doing? So the more to the right a brawler is, the more it's being played, and the higher it is, the more win rate it has. So basically, as you can see, the meta might be quite more nuanced than you might think. For example, Colt is nearly exactly 50% win rate and way to the right on this graph. So he's being played a lot, but he's basically at a 50% win rate. Ems, of course, is being played quite a bit, but not maybe as much as you might expect. And she's sitting at 60% win rate overall at higher ranks. Grom sitting at a similar win rate as Ems, by the way, just not being played as much. And I think there's a lot of cool info. I'm not going to go through all the brawlers here, of course. I just wanted to show you because when we speak about the meta and when we speak about these things, I think the reality might differ very much from perception. And I just want to kind of draw a parallel between these two. So this is the reality of high-rated play right now. And I think there's a lot of cool, conclusion to draw from that. And again, when I say touching outliers, I use that word a lot when I talk about balancing. In this case, outliers based on this graph only. It's never based only on this graph. But if we would take just this graph, I would look into Ems, Spike, Shelly, Frank, Mina, Colt. Like those would be the top kind of brawlers I would look into just based on this graph. Brawls that are used a lot, so they're very versatile and also sporting north of 50% win rate. And even then, this is, I think this is a very good variety of brawlers. Of course, ideally, we want to push everyone that's on the left. We want to push right. That's basically the idea. The more brawlers that are played more, the better it is. But we see a lot of different brawlers doing really well, and no brawler is below 40% win rate. No brawler is much above 60% win rate. So the meta is actually healthier than the Buffy conversation might let on.
Yeah.
The reasoning to release Buffies with 5 new changes to their kit, again, like when we made Buffies, we went back and forth a lot on what they should actually be on the gameplay side, right? Like we went all directions. Should there be one ability? Should there be a button? Should there be, they augment one thing, 2 things? What are they augmenting? And I think what we landed on is like, instead of going one extreme ability, we wanted basically more excitement into Brawler's existing kits. And that's why you have basically all the small changes from all the Buffies essentially is what we think makes the biggest impact. And that's why we're releasing them this way.
And then about the timing, what was your reasoning behind the timing of releasing Buffies? I know deadlines are tight and you probably want to release Buffies before esports starts up again. However, over the winter period, lots have felt really frustrated with the imbalance of Buffies. I think I cut off the rest of his question. Plus lots of, I don't know.
Lots of something.
Yeah, the timing.
Yeah. So I think this is super valid again. I think for us, it was very much like he mentioned here, is we wanted to do it between the esports seasons. This was one of the biggest priorities for us because we can't make a change this big in the middle of a season. So it basically had to be now. Unfortunately, of course, that also coincides with the winter break for a lot of us within the team, and there's nothing we can really do about that. So what we try to do is make the Buffies not game-breaking in their own right, which they aren't. I know Ems is strong, yes, I am aware, but she's not game-breaking by any means. And that's what we tried to kind of achieve, is make sure that the initial balance is good enough that we don't have to do any emergency maintenances or anything during the holiday period. And then we can basically edit them as we come back from the holiday period, which is actually when this is being filmed. So probably as this goes out, we've already had a maintenance to address some of the burning issues.
If not, we cut off this part.
Yes.
But
and to add to that, like the timing of World Finals definitely matters. But
Yes.
I think even more was that players were running out of a meaningful progression goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we needed
absolutely.
to get them the new goal, and like waiting is very costly for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we needed to get it out.
Yeah.
And in a way, like, although the Stranger Things event was relative success, it would have been way bigger
If it was after.
we would have already have these bigger goals for players to chase during the event, right?
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, and to be fair, like also the results of the Stranger Things, like for me, it was one of the best updates ever. We got like the game mode was so fun. And, like for the players, also like we had the new daily wings, which is just like better for to play every day. I think there was something else. Mega Quest
Mega
was
Quest right
yeah.
there, yeah.
It's like there was no negative things. Like maybe the drop rate of the skins.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it had like some hype on the first weeks, but then like our numbers starts going back to what they were before, right? Which is the opposite of what's happening with Buffies now.
Yeah.
It's like even though the update is like way like it's fully on community sentiment, like it's everybody like the new game mode. It is like a normal, obvious buff to progression. It's better to play every day. It didn't work out as we want, so like we really need something for them to change.
Yeah, and another thing about the Upside Showdown is that it really, really appealed to like our top 10% of players, our hardcore, really engaged players, our very skilled players, because they could like
Read.
finish runs. Well, they can read and they can finish runs, right? Like they're very skillful, right? But actually, like the mainstream audience struggled in the mode, and they actually dropped like pretty quickly after like a week because they just couldn't like get to the end of a run, and so that was like a learning for us. Like we still obviously love the mode, and we're planning to bring it back in some form. But yeah, it didn't have like mainstream success.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will Hypercharges also be getting reworks when Brawlers receive their Buffies, as there are quite few really bad Hypercharges still without reworks? Example, Pero and Chuck.
Yeah, so this is, again, one of the reasons we wanted to do Buffies in the way we want to do them, which is when we get to a Brawler, we want to look at the entire kit and figure out, can we rework something that doesn't make sense? Probably I would say Pearl is a great example. Chuck as well to a certain extent. Not a promise that we're doing those exact ones, but yes, this is a great example of we would probably look to change the baseline before we add the Buffy on top.
And is there any plans on doing a balance change every month? I guess we talk about that.
Yeah.
Emergency nerfs 1 week after the new update. We kind of do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And a lot of hardcore players just gotten over the hypercharge meta and now scared it will be the same with buffs. I guess like just the last question then. Like so like how about like the feeling of like this unbalancing because like some brawlers will have buffies, some others won't?
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think it's just about managing the power level of a brawler with buffies versus one that doesn't have buffies. And I think just like with hypercharges, that's something we'll get better at over time, right? Because the first iteration of buffies is obviously going to be the hardest one to get right because we don't have a standard set yet. But as we keep making buffies, I think it will be much easier to kind of hit a sweeter spot and also a spot that is not too different from the existing roster. For example, right now, yes, the buffies are strong, but there's plenty of brawlers that can compete with the buffied brawlers. And that's the place we want to be, essentially.
Is there any plans on doing, I already said that. With the removal of Masteries and Records being a huge disappointment, is there any plans on bringing Masteries back, but bigger and better?
We kind of touched on this, right?
Yeah.
Whatever we do, it'll be a new thing.
Yeah.
And then the Mastery event was bigger and better and didn't work as well. Hardcore players have felt neglected for the last years, so with the update catering to new players, which is understandable for the most part, as are there any future plans to make the game more grindy for the hardcore? Because everyone knows the core gameplay of Brawl is fantastic. We just need something more to grind for.
Look out for next update.
Woo! Okay. Yeah. Quite long.
That's a really long one. Yeah. Pretty long.
Yeah, those are the questions from Span. Then Panda. Do you have any plans to change the cycle of release for buffies? What I mean is, rather than having all buffies given to around 36 brawlers in a year, we get all the brawlers gadget buffy first in the same time, which would be more palatable meta. It's like it's just like diluting the release of buffies throughout brawlers.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting way to look at it. It's something we, of course, could have done or like could consider to basically release one of the items. But the problem there is that then you're basically shaking up the meta more and more. And once you've learned a character, you have to relearn it every single time you release a piece of their Buffy. So instead of having to learn, let's say, Ems again now that she has all the Buffies, you'd have to learn her 3 times, basically. So the cost for you as a player, not only having those things, but also as an opponent, it's going to be too overwhelming to basically keep up with, okay, well, last update we released M's Hypercharge Buffy, but not the Star Power Buffy. So, you know, it's going to be non-palatable, I think. And that's why we basically want to go, okay, this is the complete kit. This is the complete kit. This is the complete. So you know what to expect. So you can learn.
And I guess there's one other reason, which is like when you guys are redesigning the kit, I think it's better you do it holistically and as a whole, and then you can decide, okay, we are doing this thing with the gadget and this thing with the star powers, so then it's like a more balanced redesign.
Absolutely.
And then there's a third angle, which is like the newsworthiness. So like we have a completely new buffied brawler is more newsworthy than we have parts of many brawlers buffied.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think the idea was actually quite smart.
Yeah, it was a cool idea.
Yeah. Symantec. Now that's a recent world champion, not last year. I'm sorry.
Too soon.
But the one before that was amazing, and everybody was so happy that the Humble won the tournament.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So he is asking a fun question first. How is it possible that you are all so sexy?
It's a great question.
Someone an answer? Or?
I don't even know how to answer that.
I mean, there's this effort about like the gym culture in the Brawl team that we actually referenced to recently in a Brawl talk, no?
Yes.
So I mean,
has to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I see Gong in the mornings. Sometimes it goes in the night. Quinn, I see on Saturdays. Like so, you see like how people are you in the morning sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Jing, workout is good for you.
Yeah. Touch some grass, people.
Yeah. And then here's a real question. Who from the new people department that joined since 2023 has had the biggest impact for you since then? And how does the team feel with having so many more members? I think the first one with one being super impactful. I think like everyone that joins has like a different perspective, a different POV, and I think it's always meaningful. There are like, for example, things that happen in the game. It was like someone who was really passionate about this one thing and then just drive it through the end, right? So like, I guess like the MOBA, we had like one person who was really passionate, like I just want a MOBA in the game, and he was like, I will develop it anyway. So like he kind of like were the owner of his own feature. But like I guess like for the team growth, like with many more members, I think like we have a lot to learn because like we were a small team, and I think when Brawl like had the super crazy growth, we were all aligned, and it was like a small room. So like if I turned my back, I could talk to the whole team, right? Yeah. Which is not a reality anymore. Like now we have like sub teams inside the team. And I think like now we are learning, like doing this podcast, like bringing different people to communicate, to align better. But I think the 2025 could have been a year that is a bit wonky because there was like a lot of different perspectives on what is the best for the game, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's also harder to coordinate more people.
Yeah.
And we're still like learning there for sure as well.
Yeah.
But the whole team is like full of superstars. Like, super independent, super passionate people that like make amazing things. And so often the biggest challenge is just like making sure we're all building the same sandcastle.
Yeah.
Definitely for me, like the biggest change in the feel for the better would be that, like when we were so small, we had to take so many decisions in terms of, okay, what are we doing in this update? Because we didn't have that many ballots to decide where we were shooting at. And now, despite our ambition keeps on growing, I do feel like we are able to tackle more things that we actually are willing to do, like just because we have more people to work on them.
I think I just want to give a very concrete example, maybe from the gameplay side, to kind of make this more understandable, maybe for the players. So imagine the last update with Buffies, for example. If we were at the size before we grew the team, we would have either shipped maybe 3 Buffies or a Hypercharge with a Brawler, 1 Brawler, or a game mode. Like, that would have been the choice we had to make back then. Now we didn't have to make that choice. We wanted to do all of it, and we are able to make all of it. And that goes not only for gameplay, but across the whole game, basically. We don't have to... We still have to prioritize, of course, but we can realize so much more of our ambition than we could before.
Exactly.
And we get so many more great opinions from, again, like Quinn said, superstars within the team. And it just makes, I think, the game better as a whole and the team stronger.
We had an update that it was 3 skins.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
From Livy. What calls for an emergency maintenance break? There have been breaks in the past to fix Brawlers mechanics or small bugs in UI or effects of minor things in the game, while major bugs like the current Vision 1 are ignored, which results in players what results in players just hoping for a fix. Why?
Great question. Maybe I can take part of this one because I'm very much involved in the health of the game as well. So the boring answer is when a bug happens, sometimes one is finding it. Like, that's usually not the hard part. Like, we can usually make a bug happen and what we call reproduce it. So make it happen again and again. Once we know that, we still have to find out the reason as to why it happens. And then we have to find a fix. This process can go anywhere from 30 minutes to a week, depending on how hard the bug is to find and fix. And there is no real kind of pattern for this. Like, every bug is very different when it comes to this. And then to make the call on should we have a maintenance or not for a bug, that is basically if something is completely game breaking. Like the vision bug right now, it's really bad. And that's basically our highest priority item right now on our list. But we don't have a fix that we are able to deploy yet. But it doesn't mean we're ignoring it. It means we have to try to fix it. And sometimes that can just take longer. That's the boring answer. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to stuff like Brawler mechanics, I think the times we want to make fixes, for example, when it breaks the server completely, right? Like when you have server 43 that I bet everyone has seen at some point in their life. That's something we want to basically tackle ASAP because, I mean, the matches don't work. So it's very much on a case-by-case basis. How fast can we fix something and how detrimental is it for the players? And then we make a call on, does this need a maintenance? When does this need a maintenance, basically?
We do try and avoid taking down the game because like that's kind of the worst thing is like I want to play Brawl and I can't.
Yes.
Yeah. So we try and bundle things together if we can.
Yep.
Candy Noticias. In the Brawl Pass, free-to-play players can only get one resource key. My question is, do you plan to use to give us keys at events, freebies, etc., or will they only be exclusive for the Brawl Pass Plus?
We're open to the idea. I think we do need to be cautious here. So the Brawl Pass is like our biggest source of revenue. And we, you know, if we're too careless with those resources, then it'll mean that less people want to buy the Brawl Pass, which is bad for everybody. It's not just bad for the game, right? Like in order to do all of the cool things we do, like brand, marketing, esports, etc., that requires revenue, and the revenue comes from the Brawl Pass. So we are very careful there. That being said, I do think that it would be okay to give out resource keys every once in a while. So yeah, open to it.
Yeah, but should be super rare also because then it makes the pass interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the UI is transition when you get the keys is about that you are stealing the key. So maybe players get to steal it elsewhere in the game and then use it in the bot.
Teal PTJ. Will Ranked be improved in 2026? I personally feel like Ranked is the worst game mode available right now, so I would love to see if you guys have anything in the store for this year.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, wait.
Do we want to say a date or is that too much?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Because like, the date was supposed to be this update. We already changed, right?
Yeah.
Let's not give
Yeah,
dates.
that's
Yes.
But yes. We have plans.
But could you maybe talk about the rationale of how do you want to approach Ranked?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Next.
Do you want to go or should I go?
How about I'll say
the
one
same
word,
time.
you say the other
that's
word.
a great idea. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay, so the current version of ranked is kind of like a compromise design, I would say. So the goal with the previous version was that we wanted to get more people to play ranked. And in that, we succeeded, right? Well, for a while. It has declined somewhat. It has become a little bit more niche, but still, like, you know, the funnel is doing okay. But when you do that, like things like the ranked reset, there's a tension between what the mainstream audience wants, which is like progression, and what the absolute hardcore pros want, which is like competitive integrity, right? So like the pros don't like it when they have to reset because like they basically like they deserve to be up there where they have quality matches and that's where they can train. And like we kind of like waste their time to get them back. So and we, you know, we're talking about like, okay, what is the goal that ranked should have? And we think it's actually like maximum competitive integrity, even if that means that the mode is less accessible. But we're still discussing it and debating it.
I mean, I have nothing to add to that, but yeah, that's basically how we're thinking about it.
Cool. Perry Parrot, what is the behind-the-scenes process behind implementing new gameplay features? Example, Buffy, Subway, Suppers, mutations.
Really great question.
There is more. What is harder to do, coding out the gameplay features or to come up with the idea on how players should obtain these and then use them in-game?
Well, luckily we have people who are great at coding and people who are great at other things. So yeah, like I guess this question depends on who you are asking. I would suck at coding basically.
I mean, you've seen my UI mockup.
They're not that bad. But yeah, I guess like I have explained this recently in a few places because it's also interesting for other professionals, like to learn how we actually develop the features or the events in the game. I think it's pretty unique in terms of it all starts with a big, broad conversation. Most of the time, like mostly is the game designers like maybe starting the spark in terms of, hey, this is what we want to achieve. This is maybe the metrics that we would like to impact, or the part of the experience that we feel is in more need of a revision. And then we gather ideas. We talked a lot. Like we do these like brainstorming sessions where we start to identify. That's a nice direction to try, and then little by little we are like. Concreting that plan. That's mostly when my role comes in, maybe because is my role to also help to distill those ideas and create some mock-ups, like to make it easier for everyone to imagine how would it look or how would it feel in game when we actually do that new event or not that new feature, together with like the game designers to see like, hey, this is going in the right direction. Also talking with other very needed people, like, okay, can this actually be coded in a not without such a big effort or with a relative effort? Also with the artists, like, hey, we are envisioning this cool event, but it will need like yet another box. Can we do another box before freeze? Like freeze mean like the deadline that we have to actually deliver what we're planning to release next. And then after those mockups have been shared and we have reviewed them also as a team, and we have seen, okay, this looks like it could work, maybe this not. When we have something that we are all feeling good with is when we start to actually develop it, like both like implementation-wise, like putting the actual assets inside the game and creating the code that is going to handle those assets and that logic. And then is when maybe the other big part happens, which is like the play testing, that I think is something we do great as a team, that we have like these recurring play testing sessions where we just look at each other's work and try to give candid feedback with the aim to release the best version of this as possible.
Yep.
And yeah, I would say that's more or less the process. And then, of course, once we have released something, if it's something that we can touch later on, like with a new version of it, is when we, like, community help us a lot, like understanding like how is this thing actually working. And yeah, I would say that's more or less.
It's very comprehensive.
Cycle,
Yeah, very
very
good,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think like also like for example, maybe like of course not the hardest, but like it's funny to think like for example when you have a collab with Stranger Things, we have like here's like the billion ideas we can do, and then maybe the hardest is prioritizing which one is actually the one that is,
that actually is the thing that I had in mind. I was like, I'm missing something. Like, yeah, when we can decide when to launch something is way nicer in a way that, okay, like then this is looking good, but maybe not as good to be released. Maybe can be postponed for a next update. But then, yeah, there's like, let's say, yeah, we want to do something big for Christmas or for like Golden Week in May, or yeah, we have a deal with this new collab brand that we are working with. So yeah, for example, like Stranger Things, like we wanted to go together with the release of the last season. So yeah, in a way, that is the hardest ones, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, like just to add another layer to that. So we have a lot of talent on the team, but all the talent is quite different, right? So we can't, for instance, be like, okay, all we're doing is Buffies this update, right?
Yeah.
Because like, what is half the team supposed to do, right? So another part of building an update plan is making sure that we're using the talent that we have as effectively as we can, right? So that makes sure that like maybe we would, in the theoretical world, we'd love to just go all in on this, but actually the way to get the best results is to make sure that we are leveraging everybody as effectively as possible. And that's like a really complex puzzle to put together.
Piscis, with everything that has been added through the years, do you think it's time to adjust rework progression? We got to a point where brawler rarities barely make sense as there is so few rares and so many higher rarities. I understand why is that, but I feel like it would work if we just sort the brawlers into two categories, beginner friendly and advanced. Let the player have free choice on what they want to unlock. This is just one part of progression that I feel like it could be made much simpler and therefore easier to understand, as well as giving the players more freedom.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So I'm really passionate about reworking progression. Like that's one of my very, very favorite things to do. So yes, that being said, like when you change things, you can like negatively impact people, right? Now we never really shy away from that, but we are conscious of the impact. So for instance, like, okay, let's say we changed brawlers into beginner friendly and advanced, like we got rid of brawler rarities. So there's actually like, on any topic, there's probably going to be different opinions on the team, and we discuss these things a lot. And there are people on the team that would like, for instance, love to get rid of rarities of brawlers entirely. But if we did that, there would be costs. So one of those costs would be that, well, all rarities are basically gone. So every brawler is as exciting to get as any other brawler. And right now, like it does feel better to draw a legendary than it does to draw an epic brawler, right? So we would lose that excitement, and we don't like losing excitement. And the other thing that's useful in terms of brawler rarity for us is that it still does indicate complexity, right? So like legendary brawlers are generally more complex than epics or rares. And so that's like information that we would lose. So personally, I wouldn't fight for it. But I do think that, it's a complicated topic.
Yeah. And I think the second point is as well, like when we do change fundamental things like this, I think the only time we changed rarities was when we removed chromatics.
Yeah.
Then we changed rarities for brawlers. Because imagine, I don't know, let's say you're a Spike main, right? So you really love Spike. It's a legendary brawler. It's really cool. Now Spike is beginner friendly. Like you will not feel that good about having Spike because your cool legendary brawler became beginner friendly. Like this is just one example, but it's back to the point of we need to be really careful when we mess with existing things people have and the existing things people enjoy, because we can also sometimes we miss the mark and we do something worse, and that's not where we want to be. So we have to have a really good reason if we want to make these systematic changes.
And you touch on a side issue that we have because there is legacy problems. Like our game is 7 years old now, and then like with removal of mastery, like when you tell a community manager, hey, you have to remove that feature that the players like, and I feel like, oh my god, but then you hear the reasoning, like, oh, it makes sense. But then because it's a game that is constantly changing, like there's a lot of things, like for example, remove rarities, everyone who had a legendary will feel like cheated, like it's a scam. And like, it's like those things. And then another discussion that they have because of progression is like, what if you unify coin and PowerPoint? Yeah, like it kind of makes sense on paper because like they kind of have the same meaning, but like everyone who paid for this currency or everyone who progressed the brawler in a certain way or saved their currency will feel cheated also. Like, and besides like the restructuring the whole economy, which it might be really tough. So I think it's because of like this game exists for so many years. There's a lot of like legacy issues that like just changing is not as easy as it sounds on paper.
Yeah. There is like a philosophical level of like, in a game, could you do this? Absolutely. In Brawl Stars, can you do this? Well, technically, yes, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, like Adrian was giving this example about Spike, and I actually like recently, we were talking with an agency like trying to help us to improve our brand identity, and they were advising us that it would be nice to give Spike earlier on, like even more like at the beginning of the game you have Sally and Spike, just because Spike has become like this very identifiable character for the game. No, and it's like of course, like in an ideal world where maybe we could travel back in time, like you did in One Brawl Talk, and we will do that change. But we cannot do it now.
Brawler events plus community initiative. That's the topic actually. From Lavender. I don't know. We'll put in the screen. Mac Pizza King or Lavender. I don't know. I would like to ask you things. Brawler events. Are there plans for another Brawler event like the MortisGames one? Not actually a plan. Like we don't have anything this down, but I think it was an interesting experience where like the event was revolved around a Brawler. But for now we don't have any plan. It will be cool. I think there's events could be about anything. And then community spotlight events. I really love events like the Brawlies and Supercell Make campaigns. Recently, we just got a new Make campaign, but will we ever get a Brawlies nomination again? I answered to this question about Brawlies in another podcast. It's right there. Maybe you can go there for deeper answer, but it's pretty much the payoff. I think a lot of the things we do is like how much effort we put to how much performance or how much results we get, right? The Brawlies, I think I started doing like after July until the end of the year. And it was just like another layer of work that you have on top of everything, because you have to look for the nominees, and then it has it's a word, almost like a rep event. So you have to look from the whole year. There's the fun video, which is very costly. And then when we release, people think this Brawl Talk is weird. It's we don't get this return of investment back, right? Of course, we can do simpler ways for Brawlies, but I feel I think people expect a grand event. It can be a pool or whatever. So I think the Brawlies, as it was, probably won't come back unless another person that's very passionate take it. For other community initiatives, this is one that I intend to come back. Actually, because the studio is different. These things, the Spike mic is a new thing. So I didn't do it for one-off thing, right? I want to keep this happening more frequently. And the Supercell Make campaign as well. It was a 1 year since we run the last one, and I want to keep this frequently as well. So I think we want to keep those things going, and perhaps add more community initiatives. Cool. Now we have still 20 questions to go. We want to finish that in 30 minutes, so we're going to speed run. So here are questions from YouTube, from BL. Everyone help me get this comment. This is he's asking for upvotes. Why don't Brawl Stars or other Supercell games have options to improve FPS by lowering the graphics? Considering that most popular games contain these options to improve the performance of those with weaker phones, enhance the experience and gameplay for players. But why not Brawl Stars? Brawl Stars has so many graphics that could be ignored or reduced to improve the player experience.
This is a great question. So one of the advantages of Brawl Stars growing as a team is that we've been able to grow teams that have historically been pretty underserved. And one example of that is the game tech team. So we've been seeing a lot of great improvement on this front recently. Damien, I should have said a name.
It's fine.
Okay. We have someone really awesome that's doing some great work on Brawl. He like eliminated loading times pretty much. Like loading is way better than it used to be. And they're going to be tackling the frame rate next. I synced with him on this, and he thinks that the problem is going to be basically like gone for the vast majority of players by summer, hopefully, if everything goes well.
Damn, big words.
Yeah, he said it, so I think it's okay to say. So and we'd rather basically eliminate the issue rather than provide an option. So that's what we're going for. But it's a really astute question.
Yep.
Mythical BR1. Are you interested in adding a story mode to the game, telling the Brawler stories in chapters? One thing I would like to ask that, because like that's like a trending from since the beginning. What do you expect from a story mode? Because it could be anything, right? Is it like a dungeon crawler? Is it like you go and talk to the Brawlers in Star Park? What is a story mode for you?
Yeah, I think it should be something that is still true to the core of the experience of playing Brawl Stars. So it can be like, I don't know, like an audiobook tied into the game. So yeah, I imagine something that you are still playing a Brawler and that you are still feeling challenged by something. So definitely it should go in those terms. And yeah, other than that, it's what we decide to.
Yeah, the story mode sounds really cool, but it's very ambiguous, as Dani was saying. Like, I think the closest thing that we've done to it was Katana Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, that was like serialized, that we had content that had story that was actually tied to gameplay, and we all loved making that, and it also landed really well with the community and also like with the game performance in general. And so we'd love to do more of that. In terms of like, is it like a completely standalone like RPG or something? Well, that doesn't really work in like a live operated format. So that's kind of the challenge, but it's exciting. I guess we need to think about more like what would story mode mean in Brawl.
Yeah, I guess telling stories through the game, yes. Maybe the story mode is like it's the RPG mode. Maybe not, because it's a lot of content that's consumed in a day and then it doesn't pay off. D1 Rudy or Ruadi, I don't know. And when will cheaters, auto dodges, rackers, and aimbot get banned in ranked? It's been weeks, blah, blah, blah. The same thing happened during last summer. So I think the more information I give about this question, the worse for us. It's like I'll be very vague, but like we are taking care of it. And we know it's happening. It's not. We also like it's good to point out that like it's a very small number. If you use anything, please don't, because it can compromise your account forever. But I know that we are talking to like our security team, and there's like a multitude of actions that is being taken. And I won't give more information, because the more I give, the worse for us. Because pretty much it's like this cat and chase, mouse. No.
Yeah, cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse chase.
Yeah.
Space Fisher, can you please make a search function in ranked? Because I run out of time searching for Brawlers to pick up Ben.
Definitely, it's something that we need to tackle at some point, hopefully soon. I would say that one small feature that we added last year has, at least from my player experience, helped me a lot, which is the favorite Brawlers. Like, I'm so glad that our producer pushed to get that small feature done in a certain update that we were pretty busy, but he thought, okay, I think it's actually doable.
Yeah.
He even did the mockups, like good mockups. So it was an easy one to do. And I know it's not ideal, but in a way, I guess it shows that we are mindful of the issue, and we are trying to get the wins when we can there. And
I think this idea comes up. We have this Brawl Ideas channel at work, it's called. And I think this comes up at least maybe like every 2 months.
Yes.
Like someone mentions, I want to search in ranked. So we want to do something about it.
One day. Insomnia, dear Supercell, do you plan to bring back the inverted combat? I guess they're talking about the
upside showdown.
Upside showdown game mode or something similar to it. It was so much fun. Tier sad emote.
I think we have mentioned it already that we would love to get something similar to that mode back. So
or something completely different, but in the same vein, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. skibidi, whatever. Why Spy can't speak? Like it's a trait of the brawler.
Yeah.
I mean, he
where
is speaking right now.
through us,
that's true.
he speaks
Yeah,
through
So we are
us.
Spike's minions. Is
Yeah,
that what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying?
think so. Yeah.
We are only vessels for
Yes.
Spike.
Yeah.
And where is the sock in Brawl Pass?
Well, yeah. It's coming back. It's coming back. I promise.
If it doesn't, there will be a huge backlash.
You know, like I was on holidays when we released the new Brawl Pass, so I was reading Reddit on the 1st of January, and I saw that comment. I was like, "Oh no, I can't!" Like I thought I have left it there, but yeah, something happened, and then. On my first day back to work was the first thing I did. You know, like, okay, I need to get this done. Yeah.
Priorities.
It's good.
Daniel Olavo, do you ever plan to include an option within the trophy road where we can talk and interact with the brawlers, like in the Hooping in the Pool event? It would be a good way to tell stories and share some cool trivia about them. And if you don't plan to bring this to the base game, do you at least intend to do more events like these in the future?
It's a cool idea. I think like we would love to explore more ways to like interact with the brawlers and talk with them. That was a really cool part of the last event.
Yeah.
I don't think the trophy road would necessarily be the best like distribution method because it wouldn't be like very eventful. Like people would get it at different times. Like I think I would rather try like a different sort of like format that unfolds over the course of a week or two.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea.
Yeah, and then Adam that was sitting here, he saw like great results from this episodic format of videos, and then he wants to do more. So hopefully we see more. But about something else that is not P. Joy Preet sign these names. Will free-to-play players ever be able to unlock the other keys except from the resource key?
Most likely no, for the reasons of like, we don't want to water down the value of the Brawl Pass. It's really important for the health of the game.
Planami, will there be a new category of brawlers like snipers, tanks, or assassins, but like elemental types, for example?
I mean, never say never, but I feel like most of our brawlers and the ones we have planned kind of fit into our existing classes.
Yeah.
But if we have a really cool idea for a brawler that just doesn't fit, like we absolutely would want to add one.
Maybe what elemental means to you? Like maybe...
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, we'll find your comment.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like Ziggy, who's kind of like electrical, and we have Amber, who's kind of fire.
That's true.
So they're kind of elemental, but they also fit into existing archetypes. So yeah.
Maybe that could be a fun event, you know?
Yeah. Gus plays, will there be any partnership this year? I think there will. Like we're working on something. Like if it's gonna be shipped or not is another question.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't think it's like gonna be like a massive event like Stranger Things. If it happens, it's because we decided after I said this line. Cool. Wow, I think that was less than 10 minutes. Good job, everyone. Nice. I think we can do it. Question from Instagram. Caspercilio.exe. Do you understand that a free-to-play player can invest more than 10 years to max his account?
Well, I mean, if you play one game a day, then it could take 100 years. So I guess we think about Brawl Stars as like, Brawl Stars is never done, right? It's like very different from like a Steam game. Like you finish a Steam game, you 100% it, you move on. In Brawl, it's like we always want to have something exciting for you to chase, right? So we're always creating new things. And if we do our job well, then every day you have something cool to do. So it's just a different mental model about what a game is.
Yeah. And I think like this concept of like, I play for free, I should have my account max is not what we're going for, because like we always want the free-to-play to be chasing something, right? We don't want like to finish the game and then you go to another one. But also like Brawl Stars, it's always like, we should at least like make the free-to-play players competitive. Like you should be able a pool of, like you have a lot of freedom to pick the brawlers you want because of the Star Road. You get a lot of the brawlers through gacha or like through boxes. So I think like you don't need to have all the brawlers to be like the best player in the world. But if you want to go like, I'm going to go competitive, I'm going to go pro, then it makes sense that you're also investing buying the Brawl Pass, right? Because like you're making like a career choice and it's So
if you're like a real pro, like this is like your job, then like the Brawl Pass is like a business expense, and it's a pretty small business expense.
Yeah, I also think Symantec specifically, I think was free to play until like
did he break
half a
these
year
patches?
ago or something.
Okay.
So, and he's a literal world champion. So you can be competitive without spending a cent.
Of course, he's an outlier, but anyway, it can be done.
Yeah.
KXX000. When will you start caring more about the game than the money? Like, I don't care about the money at all. But like, it's like money is important. Like, it's a business. It's like, it's very obvious. Like, the live games sustain a whole ecosystem of new games being at Supercell. And it's important to grow the game. Like, we don't want to just stay flat, but also like, there's like this idea of like, isn't that enough for you? And I think in the industry, if you flatten out, you'll be gonna be forgotten because like there's always a new game coming, and then you wanna be competitive, and it's pretty much like even though like the mobile market keeps growing, people keep getting players from each other, right? It's like growing the game is making sure the game will persist for more years. So like it's super important to be there.
Yeah.
But
I think the best way to kind of illustrate this, at least in my mind, like whenever we talk about anything within the game team, so be it a feature, be it a brawler, be it whatever, the first question is, what is the most awesome thing we can make? The most fun thing we can make? The question, I have never heard anyone say, how can we make this thing make the most money?
We almost never talk about money.
Like literally nearly never. Like, and you know, again, you can believe me or not, but I can tell you for a fact that is not a conversation we're having when we're trying to make stuff. Like it's, what is the most fun thing? What is the most surprising thing? The most awesome thing? Whatever it is. So, and of course, we don't hit the mark all the time, but that's at least what we're trying to do.
We had a meeting today to talk about the vision, and one of the things that was suggested is that we want Brawl to be 1 billion DAU. Right, that's the goal, right? Is that possible? I don't know, maybe probably.
There's enough people in the world.
But that's what we really want, right? Like that's what we're pushing for every day, is to make Brawl the biggest thing ever, right? And we do need revenue for that, but there's no suits on the team, right? Like we all love games, we all love Brawl Stars, and we're motivated to work on Brawl Stars. Like that's the thing. Like we're not here for the money. Like we make money to make the game. We don't make the game to make money. It's
And like this vision workshop that we have done today, like the whole team was gathered, like trying to figure out how would it be Brawl Stars in 5 years into the future, and then we were all trying to imagine how it looked like and why we would be newsworthy, and then none of the ideas were talking about money. None of them. Like they were talking about, we have been able to connect more people by playing. We have been able to, like grow our audience massively. We have become like a cultural phenomenon, but never money has been mentioned.
Nachi can you guys make canon Bo and Charlie relationship, making a brawler who mix their abilities? That's super fun idea. Like we had for context, we had a Valentine's event where players could vote on who would kiss Bo. Bo would be the bachelor, and then you can vote for the brawler who would kiss Bo. It ended up being Charlie by a very few margin. I think the other one was Melody, probably. But then it was 9 months after we made like, what if they are still together? It's like we had a wedding for them, so like we kind of like put a what if. Is not like lore, otherwise Fernanda will kill me. But but I think the idea of like a brawler that has a relationship and the kid of this brawler is actually a mix of both kids, I think it's super fun.
I think it's a great idea. Absolutely.
And Charlie needs trio members, like team members, I mean.
Yes.
Scroll, why have we not added comms button to alert our teammates we need help in certain situations? Like a communication button.
So this we've been talking about as well, and I think the first time we tried something like this was in Brawl Arena, because we really wanted to explore what does this mean for Brawl. I think this is again one of the things we want to deal with when we feel like we have some time to spend on it, because we have some cool ideas, and I think a lot of people in the team feel strongly about it as well. We just have to design it and prioritize it.
I guess Forever BS, he said in Portuguese, I guess I didn't notice at the time, but he said, like, can you turn the club more interesting? Like the club feature.
Kind of answered this, I guess. But
I think
we touched on it.
Yeah, whether it's like clubs or like teams or like channels, like it could be anything. It's like, but
yeah.
Gojo from Georgia, have you ever thought about giving more attention to the profile accessories? Like when someone checks in your account, the background, we can decor it, because it's like we are bored of the blue.
It's definitely a great idea, because it's true, like it's screen that players use to share and to brag, to show
it's your
off.
room, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it makes a lot of sense, and I guess
Yeah, it's good.
And can you add voice chat? It would be so awesome. From Kanike.
I mean, to be honest, like this is a much deeper conversation. But long story short, we have talked about this a lot, and we need to really understand what the implications would be to add voice chat, because it's not as like adding voice chat in itself is simple, but the potential implications of it are massive, right? For example, one of the big things we hold dear in Brawl is that it's a very safe place for anyone to be.
Yeah.
And we need a lot of safeguards and a lot of systems in place other than voice chat, if we have voice chat, to make sure that's still the case.
Yeah.
So again, this is a simple change on paper, but it comes with a lot of baggage. And we just have to figure out, is that a route we want to go or not?
Grown Brawler. Will there be improvements to matchmaking system? I can play in peace because the matching system. What will I benefit from players who have 30 or 20k cups and always choose Edgar every time, and I lose because of them? The matching is never fair, and I hope that this will be improved. This will not be an unbearable situation. Yeah, so
We have some big matchmaking improvements coming.
Yes.
Next update.
Wow, more spoilers. I mean, you're on a roll. Anything else you're going to tell us about the next update?
I'm going to stop now.
No, but let's hope and of course matchmaking is an ongoing thing, right?
Yes, it's never finished.
It's never finished.
exactly.
Never
Like a
finished.
spoiler alert, we won't be done with the next
No,
update.
we will not.
All we can hope for is that we see some improvements.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you listen to fan feedback much? From Samuel Forster.
I mean, you tell us.
Yeah.
But
No, they don't, because they will be upset. I think we do listen, and I think a lot of the things we have these episodes or like this video to highlight how we listen to the players, how we answer to them. But a lot of the things we do is aimed to the features, right? So like we have meetings, like I'm there, the community managers are there to point out like the community point of view. So like we always try to communicate through the game that their feelings, and of course like balancing is like they are very vocal about this thing, and then we do listen to them, especially from the competitive side. Bugs, they are a great source of reporting bugs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. $10 problems.
Yeah, so we do listen, and we are reading what they're saying. Like even Adam that mentioned like the video that he was reading the feedback about the video.
Yeah, we're really connected with what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
We get a lot of comments, see a lot of videos, and we have a lot of discussions.
Yeah.
And when we do something that like you think we should, that's often because we're just getting a lot of competing data, like a lot of competing information. And like we have to choose a direction, and sometimes like we trust like how players are playing the game more often than like what they're saying about it, because how they play is like more reliable.
Yeah. Before we go to the last question, because I forgot to pick this question about regional pricing. Like I had the answer and I forgot to pick the question. I have some notes here because like I'm speaking on behalf of someone else, like someone from the monetization team. But like some question that people are saying, like why I'm seeing like different prices in the region and why like did increase not proportionally in my country when we added the new Brawl Pass. And then the answer, like it's simple, but like it's the basic of economy that like supply and demand. So like for example, if we sell let's say the Brawl Pass for $10 to 10 players, we get $100 right? Mm-hmm. If we put like a original price for 5, we need at least 20 people to have the same profit, right? Yeah. It's like our goal is that the baseline of like the original pricing should be cheaper than the actual currency value. It's like you have a more power to buy something. But if we make the price cheaper and less people buy it, that affects the profit. It's missing the point because it should be something good for both, right? And of course, like A/B testing or like testing price is not the most elegant way to do it, but there is no other way. Like you can't like pick a small sample size. It has to be something that happens in game. So we have to test it out. And like there was a price change in the Brawl Pass. That was the time to do it, right? Because if we do it, we establish one price and like, it didn't work, let's test it again. Then it will be even more disruptive. Yeah. But yeah, so the baseline, it should be cheaper than the currency value, but it has to be at least like performing the same or more than the old price.
Yep.
And then the last question, I picked this one for last because I think you can be very short and hint what's coming next. When will you change the failed cup system? Like they are talking about the trophy system.
I feel like I was already completely spoiled this.
Wait.
Next update.
Hooray! All right, guys. Thank you so much. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you, Gon, Quinn, and Adrian and Adam that has just left. But thank you all the crew that has been listening to everything for like 3 hours. It was like really nice to have you here. And do you want to say one last thing for the players before you go?
I mean, that I'm happy to be here and hoping to keep you guys entertained.
Yeah, it was really nice sharing more about our process with you, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and keep giving us feedback because, as we said, we do listen. We talk about it all the time. I know, I'm addicted to Reddit and Twitter. Frank is, Dani is, a lot of people in the team are. So we do read, even though we don't always answer. So please keep giving us your feedback. And yeah.
Bye.